This one's really long.
Okay, one more time. Let's see if the voice comes through this time. Again, I've got audio in OBS, and I'm just hoping that it comes through onto the stream. Updates, guys. I'm glad for them, but sometimes they're a real pain in the butt. Again. Okay. So we've only lost half an hour here, but that's okay.
That's not here yet.
Thank you for bearing with us through that. If we really are here, we really are going to play D&D tonight, and you guys are really going to be able to watch us and now hear us do that. As always, any changes to our schedule can be found on our Discord server, right there. Be sure that you're tuned into that when we have changes to the schedule, and anything that you guys need to know about, we will put them on Discord. All of our videos wind up on YouTube, and this one's going to be real interesting. I will cut off all of the technical details that happened, or I guess it's that way on the camera.
Oh, will you?
Well, yes, because anytime I stop and start the stream, it's a different recording. So I just won't upload all of the problems that we had before. But all of the videos do get there. Everything that we've done in this campaign, everything we've done in our previous campaigns, one-shots, talking about the game, playing other games, all kinds of stuff. Go out there and check it out. All right. I'm going to cut this short because we've spent enough time faffing about already.
Okay, see.
Who?
See Braden. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Braden's got a thing, so let's go to that. Braden.
I haven't seen it yet, and
Because no one has seen it. Hi, guys. Recently, last weekend, was FanX, which is basically the Comic-Con version of Salt Lake City here. And I happened to buy something that everyone is very excited about because I was the only one that could afford it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, quick shout out to the individuals at Wyvern Warfare for making such a beautiful piece.
They are on Instagram as one word, Wyvern Warfare, and on TikTok as Wyvern_Wyfare.
Now, Keith, if you will allow for them to see the whole table for their reactions first, and then we will move over to you so you can hold it and showcase to the rest of the stream.
You're gonna be as Vanna White.
So we have this
so pretty.
very beautiful dice tray by Wyvern Warfare. Nice little interior. I'm going to hand this to Keith so he can show the stream a little bit better.
In case you can't tell, that's like wood.
It is
with the
burl
resin.
wood with resin.
It's so pretty.
Like a jade-ish
It is,
resin.
yes.
And a
Reminiscent.
leather interior.
Leather interior, and make sure that I'm showing you guys this the right way.
It has their logo
It's really hard to
embossed onto
see.
the side.
Wyvern Warfare.
And
Lifetime warranty on it.
I doubt we can show it right now, but you can light it up from the bottom, and it lights up all the resin. And
Yes.
it sort of
So-
glows. It's super cool.
Yes.
Yeah, not real sure how I would go about doing that
That's
since I don't
okay.
have a
It's fine.
lighting source handy. So there you go.
I have that just because we wanted to showcase this because it was so cool. So I will be using that now as my dice tray.
So go follow them on social media. They told us they are going to have contests on social media where they will put forth their designs, and whoever gives the best name for it will get a
Free dice tray.
dice tray made out of that particular design.
I need to follow that.
Yes, right?
Additionally, they have several other products that look wonderful. They are immortalizing character minis. They also are doing
prototype.
yeah, but they are also setting up a rolling tower that looks really amazing with rare earth metal magnets.
Somehow you miss nothing.
They are absolutely amazing.
Except his
Totally
beautiful
give them a
nice
check out, and
They are a very,
follow them
very
on their
new
medias.
company.
Yeah,
So-
4 days old now.
Yes.
Yep.
And
So follow them
also,
on social media.
I feel obligated to say that everybody only had good things to say about how cool these people were actually personally.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I
So,
was one of the
you
first
know.
people that saw them on Thursday, and they were great. And I do want to showcase one of the reasons why I bought it was for this specific sound.
Ooh, that's yummy.
That is a natural 20 as well. So it guarantees a natural 20.
It guarantees a natural
They're over there like, no,
There's a
no.
little asterisk that's
Yes.
like
Does not actually
FDA
guarantee.
has not verified the claim.
Yes, yes.
So
That-
wanted to gush over that, but it
Natural-
does not guarantee a natural 20. But
Natural 20s have been shown by the state of California to cause cancer.
To cause cancer.
so that was something we wanted to showcase today.
Uh-ohing about you're fine.
That's true. That's true. I don't roll those. But
So
if Keith's gonna give our characters cancer every time we roll a natural 20.
We'd be in trouble, yo.
so my little bit of a spiel is done. I just wanted to
Alright,
just showcase
so-
that.
So kind of thank you to those guys for being really, really cool to D&D players everywhere, and go check them out. I don't know what the website is.
They have a link tree up. You can find their link on their social medias. I would check out on TikTok, Wyvern_Warfare, and on Instagram they are one word Wyvern Warfare.
So that'll give you guys a sort of a chance to see that. So go check them out.
Thank you, Poser, for the nice shirt. I did get this at the con as well. A nice old-fashioned D&D shirt.
Old
So-
school,
Old school, yeah. So
All
that is
right.
my spiel done. It was. I'm done.
Okay.
But it's beautiful.
It
Cool,
is.
I
cool,
love
cool,
it.
cool.
And Wyvern Warfare, I can't say that. That is really hard to say. But just in case you ever happen to be watching this, your work is freaking awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna do a couple of.
I can't say it, Chipper.
I'm gonna do a
Look
couple
at that.
of
Steph's
plugs.
already in character.
Wyvern Warfare.
I'm also
What
going
is
to
that
put out a
all?
couple of plugs for some supplements that I've sort of been tracking out in the creator space. The first one is called Organic Towns. They just finished their Kickstarter. In fact, they're delivering on their Kickstarter right now. Really cool system. I'm not sure where else it might be available, but if you can find a copy of that, check them out. It's a really neat way to create live, sort of a living towns for your D&D sessions. Not D&D specifically. There's some other, it's system agnostic, but it's geared toward medieval magical settings. So you might want to check those out. And there's also one that is it's a theory of magic book that came out recently. Sort of a scientific deep dive into how magic in 5th edition D&D works. Really cool read. Opens up some really interesting possibilities. That one I know you can search for and find on the DM's Guild. So my little plugs for those guys. Interesting concepts to change your gameplay just a little bit and get a little crunchy with some of the stuff behind the scenes. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because
I don't know how I feel about
we have
that.
everybody at the table now that's going to be here tonight,
Do we wanna
and so
be
we're
crunchy
going to go
guys?
ahead and move along.
Why is that
Who
disturbing?
would like to do a recap for what happened 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Not it.
That sounds like a Stephanie,
oh.
so we're going to do a Stephanie. Go ahead.
Is it,
We're
is
gonna
it
do a
other-
Stephanie.
Something other than pictures this time? I mean, it can be pictures too.
Lance, you okay?
Okay.
Check on him.
No, I should probably not. I should probably not.
It's just pictures.
I feel it is, but they're great. Can I?
I think we showed them
Yeah, we
last
did
time.
show them last
They're
time.
so good.
There's a cursed hat.
She's figured out
Oh,
the hat is
woman,
cursed
There was the woman
and it's magical.
who called
Right.
my husband her Tommy.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Are you jealous of a D&D
I didn't-
Character.
I did have a drawing of, I think, my disguise. and then I just put no magic with Lance. And
That's fair.
that is all that happened.
According to
I mean, I
According
should
to
not go.
Stephanie.
Never mind. I remember doing a lot in here, but it was not notes.
That was pictures,
Never mind.
and they're amazing
Um,
pictures.
Never mind.
And I regret to inform you that I did not watch the thing because I kind of forgot that was an option for some stupid reason, and my brain was not alive. So
I wrote down a date, and then I didn't write down any other notes. for
Hey,
last
it's
time.
gonna be me today. So,
go Brayden!
last time we,
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
yes. Last time we, settled what happened in the sewer. Talked our way out of it and decided, and peacefully, left the sewer where the individuals were guarding it, and skedaddled from there. Made our way out of town via the river and slept for the evening. Did a little bit of talking, not much. Was that the discussion on morality?
That was a couple of
Uh,
times
I
ago.
think
Those
yeah.
Was
are
that
sessions
last
before.
week?
Yeah, that was the session before that.
I couldn't remember. And then we slept, and then we decided to talk to the Kind Men and their leader once again. So we went back there and were invited in by the mysterious Captain Lady, who turns out to be from the same world as the where the celestial dragon that got split into 4 comes from, sent by her boss, a one-eyed being. She also informed us that there was another one, dark spellcaster named Sploof, that was hiding in the sewer, for being protected by the individuals who were in the sewer. And for breaking the
How
fourth
fast.
wall, these are old characters that we used to play. Some of them were. And
The multiverse is broken.
we got done talking to Jin, the pirate lady, and discussed ways that we could help her and she could help us. And I believe we left it there with the understanding that
right.
yeah. And I think Simi was about to look in the library, so I think we.
And I was at work.
Yes, you were
How's
helping the jeweler lady.
Uh-huh.
So
I'd like
I
to go
believe.
to the library.
I think she can go to part of it, but she can't follow me back to the restricted section
Yeah.
where all
Right.
the Howling books are, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
She has those in his bag, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Howling
Yes.
books.
Yes.
Well, they weren't howling. They were just talking
The talking books.
loudly.
In my brain, I was thinking about the Harry Potter restricted section,
Yep.
but yeah. I forgot that we actually have our own version of the restricted section
Mhm.
in Gideon's bag.
Yep.
Nope, wrong
There's
one.
a minor
Killian.
incident, it's fine.
Then,
now.
whilst Danny
You-
is doing
what?
her library,
It's been addressed.
I was gonna give you about 5 more minutes.
The Screaming come save you. Lance, did you flush yourself?
Anyway, I believe that's
All
where we
right.
left off. So.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to the recap from the last session?
Were you paying attention while you were on the toilet?
Probably
Oh.
not.
Oh, I can't hear anything in there.
Yeah.
So
Is there anything from the last session you feel the need to remind people of?
Nope. Aside from the no magic.
I thought about it and then I thought better of it.
you're off today.
I think you
yeah,
want
sorry.
to girl.
I think you deserve a binge day after your competition.
I feel like that's fair. Once I get past the competition, I shall binge. We'll party.
All right. So,
Let me know when and where.
Woohoo!
thank you. I've been sitting here watching it go around.
Sorry, Lance wasn't here to pass it to you when I
What?
finished.
What? I'm the DM.
DM gets a cookie.
Like, if you don't give DM a cookie,
We
You
all
get
it's a
die.
TPK.
There you go.
You get cancer. You roll a 20. You get cancer.
So,
Summon a pyramid. You get cancer.
Oh yeah, you get like double death cancer for that.
Was our sound on for that part? Yes, it was. Okay. I was like, does anybody watching have any idea what's happening right now?
You
Okay.
assume they ever have any idea what's happening.
That is so
That's fair.
fair.
Yeah.
So I guess if there's nothing else to add, I will.
There you go.
That wasn't even a test one, so I'm calling that one.
Nope. So I am going to go ahead and make my way over, and Master Hobbs said that he was going to procure for me a list of names of supposed friendlies and
Okay.
supposed super not friendlies, I guess. And then he should have already prepared some of the things that I was looking for, if I'm remembering right.
He was going to lead you to them. He knows
Okay.
he knows where they are, but that's not the kind. Most of what you're looking for is not the kind of thing that can be like
Checked out.
taken out and checked out.
And then we're just working the workshop.
I mean, that's what Killian's gonna do.
Okay, so workshop. You're going to the library. Dells, are you going to the library with
Just go ahead
Simi?
and visibly.
Yes. Okay.
Great. She's your problem now.
Yep.
And
We're doomed.
You're working, and Mal is working at the jeweler. And Cabbage, what are you doing?
I guess I'll go back to the workshop.
Okay.
To the shaggin.
To the
Shaggin.
To the shaggin. Oh,
I think he's becoming immune to it.
Give it time.
Give it time.
He's just better at
Don't
covering
remember his hatred.
the facial response.
Okay, good deal. All right. So,
My brain automatically goes, "Hi, Chipper!" Like I'm, like you're not right here.
You can.
Hi, Chipper.
okay. So,
What? Oh, the word sack.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, and apparently pink.
I don't know
Are
why
you
it's pink.
serious?
Never mind.
Wow.
Yeah. The,
So I apologize, Poser, that your comment got
Yeah, just wipe it.
like
It's not
flagged for somehow being inappropriate with the word sack and pink. I feel like we need to turn the sensitivity down on that some.
maybe a skosh.
Super sorry.
Maybe a skosh.
This is not even partly kind of inappropriate. I don't know
Only
why
if you
it
touch your
went
sack.
that.
Never mind.
All that
touch your
means
sack.
is that the AI for our channel is still learning because it didn't get the context.
The AI for your channel is Southern Evangelical, apparently.
Something-
Like, what
Something
is-
like that.
No dancing.
Okay.
No dancing.
Get those ankles covered.
Okay,
Back to
so
the 1800s.
so Simi and Dels, you guys, you leave the shaggin and you
There
head
you
back into
We
town
get chased out of town. We don't build them.
and
Rewording.
Go get chased out of town.
and head to the cloister.
I don't
Okay.
build them.
The cloister.
Sit back
Yep.
and enjoy this, whatever that will be.
Okay.
Yes,
Um,
whatever.
Right.
So you guys, so you get there. You are met by, you're met by.
Master Hob?
Oh,
Oh,
Dagwood?
Dagwood. Yeah. So you're met by Dagwood,
Just
Um,
finishes
who-
eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
who leads you deeper into the complex and towards the library. There you do find Master Hobbs waiting for you as you approach. Good morning and welcome. How have things gone for you?
Probably more eventful than we wanted them to, but that's okay. I feel like we're doing good. Good day so far.
Well, I suppose there's something to be said for living in interesting times.
Aren't we all living in interesting times right now?
As you say. Shall we? And he sort of motions you into the building.
Me too.
Yep, I'm just gonna take her along until she
Of
says
course,
otherwise.
Of course. So he walks you in, and so for you, Simi, you've seen libraries before. You know, you are familiar at least with what the order has sort of put together, generally speaking, as their standard library. It's a fairly extensive collection. I mean, the one here is not as big as the one in Costas, obviously, but it's pretty substantial still. There are books on a wide variety of topics. Some of them are fairly, some of them are really large. Some of them are like folio, podium folio size, lots of illuminations to them. Very, 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 very pretty. They cover a lot of different topics. You would be familiar with a lot of them. There are some that are like the general sort of writings and teachings of the Church of the Empress. And they are here in the public area so that any of the inhabitants of Lamont's Wells who wishes can come in and read for themselves and learn and be immersed in the doctrines of the church.
Doctrines, dogma, a little bit A.
Yeah, a little bit A, a little bit of B. There's also volumes on, farming practices and how to boost your yields, things for shepherding, the animal husbandry is noted. It's a lot of general knowledge. There's some specific to the church, a little bit of history. There's even a very, very small, light reading fiction section. Very small.
Is there any queer men's fantasy romance that I can direct Dells to?
Unfortunately, no.
Damn it.
I was literally looking up
Actually, isn't that banned in
the word
Empire?
erotic. So
I
I
don't
could
know.
be subtle.
Is it?
Why?
I think it's only banned
What's on
for
my
you.
Fair. It's fair.
I'm very disappointed.
So
Very
now,
sorry, I tried.
for Simi, this is it's a little bit smaller, but it's fairly standard. Nothing to write home about. Dells,
She's got to get high off all the
We
paper.
had a library in the fishing
you had a
village.
library.
Not
The library
there
that
anymore.
the library that you had was about 10 books.
Yep.
So this, hundreds of books. Hundreds and hundreds of books on all kinds of topics.
Except the important one, but that's okay.
So there are more books here than you knew existed in all of creation.
Wow.
So you are having a good time.
Oh yeah.
Any particular, besides the
Yeah.
big one, any particular topic that catches your fancy that you might want to go check out?
Well, my internal monologue is saying there's probably nothing here about magic, and I'm too scared to ask at this point.
There's probably nothing in the public section about magic.
Yeah. What about gods? Did I gather that that was
you're
taboo
not.
subject?
You're probably not going to see those listed.
There's books about God,
Yeah, there
singular.
are books about God, singular, Her Majesty the Empress.
The edition always changes because that is, edition always changes because the new edition is the next Empress or.
Although
one
the
Emperor.
current edition is about 650 years old, so.
Yeah, there may not be much as far as older editions.
Okay, then I take a look, or I ask, perhaps, if there are any books upon the artistic masters.
Oh, yes, of course. The second the second aisle there, over next to the window, will have all sorts of books for you.
Ooh. And I'm just like,
Okay, and
Why
where
does
he
this make me nervous?
where he directs you, there's
It's a
like
big collection.
floor to ceiling. It's about 5 shelves, end to end, about 10 feet long, full of books on art history, art theory, painting, drawing, wood carving, any type of art you can think of pretty much is covered.
okay. I go into like a deep study.
Okay. And remind me again what we're looking for specifically for you.
That's cute that
You
you
might
think I
want to
remember.
remind.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
do you? Is this the DM needs a reminder of what we were looking for, or are we just relying on Simi to remember?
Mainly, well, I mean, partly B, but partly I'm also reminding the stream
Okay.
what we're looking for.
Not it. I remember that there were things that we were looking for, but I have forgotten now
Is
what
that
they
history
were.
of the dwarven?
Yeah, the what's her
There's
butt.
a scrap of paper that tells us where an elven ruin is.
There we go. Okay, so that is priority A, figuring out that
Okay.
part.
Oh, yes, of course. Come with me, and he will usher you back towards the back of the library. About halfway back, there is a floor-to-ceiling wall that divides the building in half, basically, and there's a single door to pass through. There is one of the members of the order sitting there. He does, he nods at Master Hobb. I assume you're sort of in your monastic robes.
Might have come back in the
Okay.
robes, yeah.
He will nod at you as well.
Bow and
He'll make a little.
slap my
He
forehead.
will make a little note on a ledger in front of him that's sitting on the desk in front of him, but he doesn't say anything, and he ushers you through.
What name do you give him?
He didn't ask for a name.
Dang it.
He didn't ask for a name at all.
Carlisle.
And Master Hobbs pushes the doors open and ushers you through. There are just as many books in this section of the library as there were in the public section.
Nice.
The doors close behind you, and looking around, you get a sense. You start to pick out sort of a theme. There is one section that looks like it's devoted to history, not just specifically history of the empire either. It looks like there's history of, just based on the titles, it looks like it's history of the area of Lamont's Wells pre-empire.
So
Alonce?
some old ass book.
They are some. Well, they're not even. Some of them are books, and they're fairly recent, so you get a sense that they may not even be primary sources. So you've got that. There's another section that is actually in a brass cage.
Great. That's probably the
with,
section I
with
want to be.
with a lock on it, and peering through the cage, looking at some of the titles. Some of them are on the theory of magic. Some of them are applications of magic in the growing of crops or healing of bones, or all different like application for
Shield
magic.
hose. Yeah, you need Killian's bag.
There,
We're tunneling.
there, and then sort of towards the back, there's towards the back of the cage, you get a glimpse of a gilded, like, glass-fronted display case, and there are scrolls in there that look immaculate, and you catch sight of on one of them you catch sight of a familiar name. Venus,
Venus.
which is the god of civilization.
Yeah. The person who you've heard say it most always said Venas, so that would be
Yeah.
why it didn't catch immediately.
But Master Hobbs does take you deeper, and as you go,
Gonna throw something at you.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
You never mean to.
so as you go farther towards the back of the building, the back of the library, the books and the books turn to the books turn to scrolls, turn to manuscripts. They get progressively older and older and older.
Yellower.
Starts to be very, very dusty and sort of musty towards the back. There are fewer feet, footsteps and sounds around you. There's the sound of fewer people around.
Okay.
As you
Makes
go,
more sense.
As you go deeper into the archives, there start to be gaps in the lit lanterns, so it's starting to get a little bit darker as well. About 3/4 of the way back, not all the way back, but close enough. He turns down a side aisle and leads you about halfway down the bookshelf, or about halfway down the shelf, and he stops and he reaches into one of the little cubby holes set there in the shelf, and he pulls out a scrap of parchment on it. The markings on it are fairly faint, and what you can see looks like it's part of a map. It's not a full sheet of parchment. It looks like it's only a partial. It's not even a half of the sheet. It's
Sorry. I'm good.
I'm sorry.
all kinds of distractions tonight.
Rubber chicken
Fine.
distractions.
Yep. This is fine. Everything's fine.
But what you can see on the scrap is what looks to be a river. It doesn't look like the river that you know, but you also know that rivers change course over time, so that's not unusual. Towards the bottom of the map, there is a little mark and some writing next to it. Can you read Elven script?
Actually, yes, by this point.
Okay. It says the Wells of Lamont. You will note that spot is actually a fair distance away from the river. And it's actually south of the river, where you know that the river today is actually south of Lamont's Wells. So something has happened in the meantime. And then there is another mark that's to the north of the river. So the north of the river, a fair distance, looks to be maybe twice as far as the Wells of Lamont is south of the river. And there's not even a label. There's just there's a glyph that the closest you can sort of translate in your brain is home.
So you said about twice again as far north as this one was south?
Mm-hmm.
So the river does not quite look the same, but like roughly some of the land masses might be identifiable as where we are as far as Lamont's Wells, or is this a relocation of the city?
It's hard to tell. Make me an investigation check.
Do I try the Braden dice? Let's do the fancy Braden dice. Oh,
See, it never
that's
fails.
really not bad. That's
do
a
well.
19. These usually do pretty good for me. Every now and then I have to chastise them, but they're
Okay.
pretty solid.
All right. So along the ripped edge of the page, you can faintly make out what looks to be the indications of mountains. And if it's not exactly, a topographical map, like, it's not like you can point to and say for sure, like, this mountain means that mountain. But the shapes, the general shape of the sort of the edge of the mountains kind of tracks to what lies east of Lamont's Wells.
So roughly, we are in the same location as the wells of Lamont.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so if you were guessing, you would say that you're probably
Still the same.
still in the same spot. The river has just shifted course over the eons. So you would guess probably that you need to, if you're looking for this place, this home place, you're going to want to go north.
Okay.
Not exactly sure how far, but that's the direction you need to go.
Are there roads marked or anything like that?
There's nothing. No, there's nothing like that marked on the map.
Would I know of roads that would lead kind of that direction? Or is this
So
wilderness?
there is an exit to Lamont's Wells to the north. The locals have a couple of different names for it. Most of them call it the Farm Road. It's where most of the farms around town are, pastures, things like that. But you've also seen it. You've seen old glyphs for it that also call it the Old Road.
Okay.
Player Danny may not have thought of it, but Simi might have. That it would be worth seeing if there is an updated current map that you could just put
Compare
side
them
by
to
side.
it.
Yeah. That would be a fair thing to ask. I would check with Master Hob and see.
Yes, we do have more recent maps in the public areas of the library.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab one of
You're fine,
those
no, you're fine.
on the way out. But also, I'm just gonna kind of like lean over towards him. It's like, can we be heard right now? Is anyone watching us?
Are you using your pendant?
So is it before you
Poser here?
leave the?
Is Poser here, right? Is he watching?
So are you? Where are you asking him that?
I'm just kind of like leaning over if there's nobody immediately close by.
Yeah. There's nobody immediately close by.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of lean over and just ask him quietly.
I don't believe so. No.
Well, I was, just if I had questions about the caged books, if there's a better place than.
he's gonna kind of look around. Make me an investigation check real quick.
This is the D&D version of banned books, isn't it?
Right. 12.
12. Let's see how he does.
But they kept them, so it's like clearly they're still in use in this area, or they wouldn't have them in this area.
So banned, but not full Fahrenheit 451.
Well, also, like, you know, the higher up you are, the more likely you are to be able to use magic, as long as you don't tell people you're using magic, as long as it benefits.
No, I believe we are alone.
So, what's the caged books? Like, who accesses those?
There aren't many who go into that section. We keep them there mainly so that, well, the others keep them there so that the general masses will not be tempted.
Well, if it's against the law, then who's going to? Why are they keeping them here? Who's using them?
Why are they keeping them at all?
Yeah.
Jump cut a few days later to Killian, like frolicking through the aisles, just
I was
like
gonna say, you have
like
no
from
idea.
from like a group, like a kid at a grocery store, keep putting things
Tell
in
him
a
about it.
basket.
There's a good chance we will immediately go into like. So I'm gonna have to break in and get into that cage.
Well,
I can turn into a giant mole and start tunneling.
so which
Onward.
answer would you like, my child? The official answer or...
The truth.
And he doesn't even go past or, just or.
The one that's not bullshit.
That is such a seamless response.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
I kind of forgot that.
Simi just doesn't care about. Just like, I'm asking questions.
I wouldn't have asked you if I wanted a bullshit answer.
Right.
One of them.
I mean, you can tell me the official release too, so I know to be prepared to receive that at some point. But I mean, I asked the question for a reason.
We keep them here to keep them out of other people's hands.
Why would the Empress not just keep it with her if she's the only one allowed to use this?
Her talents in those regards are not unlimited, despite what the scriptures might tell you.
As I stare at my warlock spells.
I didn't even think about.
She doesn't have certain skills
We're gonna go to fighter.
4 spell slots.
that we can
That's
find
2.
in writing.
Say that one more time, sorry.
She does not have all of the skills we can find written about. If that information got out, it would lead to difficult questions about her divine powers. Divine powers.
But you said that there are still some people who access that from time to time.
Very rarely.
I still don't understand why she didn't keep it with her. If that's the case, it seems like it would be safer.
Out of sight, out of mind, but this is the last place anyone would look for tomes like those.
I imagine there's stories of people trying to break into the libraries of Costas many times. And freaking Sionis worked in the library
What
of
is
Costas.
what is your passive perception?
Oh, I don't have it actually.
16.
16, apparently.
Okay.
I need to fix your character sheet real quick because that should be a 17.
What
I
is
believe.
what is your passive survival?
My passive survival is whiz +3. Oh.
What are your? That should be Wait. Okay.
Sneaky.
It's gonna be a passive 14. I'm gonna fix your character sheet real quick.
What did
'cause
I do?
That should be a 4 and not a 3.
Oh.
Okay, so passive
Cool, cool.
passive survival of 14, passive perception of 16. Okay. So using your perception,
For a moment, yeah.
16 or 17 for her perception.
For her
Passive
perception, it is 17.
17. Oh, okay.
You okay?
Are you waiting for me to talk so to cover?
She is.
That's cute.
Tells you're not supposed to eat in the library.
Librarians are gonna yell at you.
Right? Our costumer said if we ate in our costume, she would shank us.
Brave.
I feel like that would do more damage than the food.
I feel like that's true.
So as you're speaking with him, you do
Okay.
realize that there is another set of footsteps in the footprints in the dust
It's not me.
on the floor.
I'm reading about
I mean, they're not recent, but they're there. You can see scuff marks down this particular aisle.
I'm just
going
take a
to,
closer
like-
look at this just in case.
I'm gonna, like, put my eyes repeatedly down towards the footprints. Does he seem to try?
He doesn't seem to catch it.
Jeez. Well, I suppose we should explore more since I've not been to this particular library's. I've not seen what all is held within these walls to
Okay.
know exactly what is around here. I'm gonna pay close attention to the footprints and
Okay.
see if I can spot them kind of following as we like loiter. I want to pay attention to different.
No, so they're not recent.
Oh, they're not recent. I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
I
they're
guess I
not
misheard
recent.
that.
Sorry. Yeah, they are not recent footsteps. So they've been here a while.
Oh, okay, but just close by to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not going into the cage.
not going into the cage. No.
Just around us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would assume that people walk here sometimes. Is there anything of note to that?
Well, the fact that
There's only one set.
there's only one set
means there's
in the dust on the floor
Carried me.
means that it's not
Boo!
means it's not that frequent that people come back here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So if people don't come back here very often, what else of interest do they keep here? I'm gonna start scanning the different books on the shelf. I want to look for anything that might imply that they would have.
No,
that
go
look
ahead.
like- oh,
How
Um,
to destroy they also keep the porn section back there.
yes, anything for Dells.
Only
Also,
texts are on
yeah.
the shelves.
I would like to scan the titles for anything that might imply anything about like different races that perhaps might have been lost at some point. Kind of thinking that might involve changeling lore or anything like that that would be
Okay.
potentially helpful. Anything about older civilizations that might have been overtaken, like anything
Okay.
with that kind of.
Make.
Honestly, anything helpful. I want to look for titles of anything helpful, Keith. Don't know what's helpful in your world.
She wants it now.
Yes. Nah.
Make me
Want it now.
make me an investigation check.
16.
Okay.
Is that one of the ones you changed? No. Okay. 16.
All right.
Changed? How dare you? I'm
Fixed.
fixed.
Repaired. It's to my advantage, so I'm not complaining.
All right, so you sort of going down the aisle, watching the sort of the tracks in the dust. Master Hobbs is along with you, sort of. He's not like not exactly just rambling, but a little bit, kinda. And as you're walking along, you notice a spot where it looks as though the footsteps sort of pause for a little bit, and glancing up at the volumes on the shelf, you see one that's not quite in line with its fellows.
Like what's the animation?
There's no title on the spine, but you reach out and you pull it, and as you look at the front cover, it's a very, very old dialect. It's a very, very old version of the common dialect, actually. And it looks to be, strangely enough, a book on animal husbandry. Very much out of place with the like histories and the whatnot that are around on the shelf.
Closest to porn I get.
I was about to say, Dells?
Oh.
I don't know what she's into, I just know it's weird.
So what do you do with that information?
Makes sense. I look in the book,
Okay.
because it doesn't make sense for this thing to be here.
So as you flip open the front cover, there's an amaranth pressed against it.
All the weird calling cards.
Right?
Animal husbandry?
Right?
Does he just like everywhere he goes, he just buys all of them?
Or does he secret have the druidcraft?
About a third of the way through. About a third of the way through, there is actually a page that has been dog-eared.
Oh, that bastard.
I check the dog-eared page, slightly swearing under my breath.
It is all about how to ensure the sex of the animal that you are breeding.
What the hell, Acherai? What is this?
And there's a little handwritten note.
Oh, even a more grave sin.
No, that one I'm okay with as long as, you know. Well,
long
I'm
as
not
it's
in
in
a
the
library
margins.
book usually. What?
It's okay as long as it's in the margins.
Generally, yeah.
Her Majesty's progeny? Question mark.
Her Majesty's
So
progeny?
she's been failing
That's
on
you.
purpose?
What?
Wouldn't that be?
Why?
Wouldn't that be?
What if it's like the Sith, where like,
Or Highlander?
where
But
like, as soon
interesting.
as you have an apprentice, they have to kill you at some point?
Or as soon as a female is born.
She could just have the children killed right off the bat.
Yeah,
She
there
could
would be
be.
evidence.
I don't think so.
Huh.
I mean, she's probably the most guarded person in the entire
And
continent.
then the footsteps continue on.
I follow the footsteps because apparently now I know that they're important.
Okay.
Where's the next book?
Make me an investigation check.
Maybe.
This is where you're gonna find the smut.
Guidance.
Does that give me advantage?
No, Brayden just guides you. That gives you nothing.
Brayden just got you. Have
Yeah.
you used your inspiration already, Danny?
Oh, I forgot I had them. Thank
You
you.
had two.
Yes, so I will.
Speaking of two,
Guidance. What does that do? Well, it's guidance from Brayden.
That's
So-
14.
14?
So many freaking investigation checks.
Yeah, it looks like they just sort of wander back and forth in the shelves in the aisles for a little bit.
You have another
Everywhere they
inspiration?
freaking change direction, I'm going to look at the bookshelf and see if anything is out of place.
Mostly just histories.
You have another token of inspiration.
Fine. Just burn them both.
Might as well.
My 54th is like investigation check.
1.
Well, that one
Oh.
sucked. Nope.
Oh.
That was not supposed to be a like tossing of the box.
Here, just put him back. Let's reset him. And just.
Do better.
So yeah, you look and look and look, and you don't really find anything else.
He expected you would do better.
No, he was trying to hide it from some very smart people. So, he had to get a little.
I don't know, are they that smart?
Well, apparently Simi's not.
I think Simi's just distracted.
But
There's a lot of
but
dust
that's
in here.
so that's
It's
that.
like, what does it mean when your ex-boyfriend starts leaving passages about animal husbandry for you to find?
I don't know.
So
Maybe
anyway,
I never
that's-
picked up a book. So.
That's gonna be basically what you come across in the restricted section of the library.
If I
You're
spend
probably
longer, can I roll more investigation checks?
unfortunately no. So you spend a hour and a half, 2 hours, sort of wandering through trying to figure out what it was that he was onto,
What does it mean?
and you got nothing.
Well,
So then you head back out front and connect.
I will ask about the scrolls for the before I go out. The scrolls that have the gods' names on them, and ask like if he knows what those are. And
They are very old writings. Most of them are hymns to
Oh,
the
hymns.
old gods.
Interesting.
am I allowed to look at them?
They have
It
hymns.
You aren't a him, you are a her.
If you'd like, I can probably arrange for it.
Yeah, I'd be curious. As long as nobody's gonna like be taking note of the fact that I'm reading them.
You're with me. It's research, as it were. Better ways to worship the Empress. May she live forever. And it's very
There's
it's
just
sort
a-
of very
Like,
lackluster.
that whole exchange on the other side of the table was funny to me. I don't know why. Without
Yeah.
even looking up from his phone.
All right, so he, if you'll wait here just a moment, I do have to go. Get the key for the cases. Pardon me.
Run back and look at the mark.
And he sort of heads toward the front, and the brother that was sitting outside, leaving you alone for.
Leaving you alone.
Just a moment.
To do whatever you want.
No one else is here?
Well, there are other members of the order sort
Oh.
of wandering up and down bookshelves. This close to the entrance, this close to the dividing wall, there seems like there's a little bit more activity. Where you guys were earlier, it seemed like there was nothing.
Okay, so, and the cage is closer to the front where the activity is?
Yep.
Okay, not gonna risk that. I guess I'm gonna go back and try and figure out the freaking footprints, or if I can't figure out the freaking footprints again, just looking for titles that might be otherwise helpful in figuring out any of the stuff that we have already been discussing regarding, like,
Okay.
peoples and places that
Okay.
have changed greatly over the years.
Let me see your sheet real quick.
It's updated.
Don't worry, I feel it.
That is why I have upgraded to an app that automatically does it for me. Though
Yeah.
it is a bitch to try and put homebrew into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I shifted some of my numbers last time I was able to bump my stats and then just forgot to bump the stuff that it affected.
To be fair, I helped you when you did that, and I should have caught that as well.
Oh, it's
So.
fine. I mean, I should have just remembered to do it myself the first time, and I'd
We're
have
all
probably
to
done that.
blame.
Yes, it takes a village, and the village failed.
It takes a village idiot. I mean, a village.
Whole village of idiots.
Okay. So you are.
The village people.
A village idiot.
YMCA.
So what are you looking for specifically?
Young man. So anything that involves the trail that Akurai was leaving me is like first priority. Second priority, any titles that would involve any of the types of things that we've already been. You're welcome.
What?
Any of
It's
the
not my fault, Keith. Your wife did that.
any
You're
titles
right.
that would involve like peoples that have vanished, like whole colonies of changelings maybe, or anything that involves towns that no longer exist. You just got DM snapped.
Even I haven't gotten sick.
I think that's the first DM snap we've ever had. Alright, I was trying to reverse
Don't
it.
make me turn this table around.
Yeah, so any title that would give me reference to any of the things that we have been exposed to so far that don't fit with the political and religious landscape that has been forced upon us.
Okay.
Please give me a second.
It's hard for me to say exactly what because I don't know what your world entails. So, like, things of
But
interest.
you would know what Simi would be looking for though. Is my thing.
But I don't know what's on the shelf to know if anything specific on the shelf is going to be like, oh, that would be useful. So that's the thing.
Okay.
That's why I gave you a very broad response to that, because it's like anything that fits. Yeah, that's why.
All right.
She's window shopping titles for anything that sparks her
I go
brain.
grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Just like, do I want that snack?
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So either investigation to sort of track the footsteps that he was leaving you, or history or religion for specific topics or titles that might be related to topics.
Oh my,
And
that's-
if
that
you
is
can
religion.
if you can make another, if you can make a case for a different skill, I will be all for it.
I mean, religion would make sense in those contexts. I just wish that I could apply it to the things that he left for me. But it doesn't matter, because that was terrible anyway. So, well, I mean, I guess it's 13, but that's because I have a freaking +5.
So with the 13 in religion, there are some tomes on the shelves that seem to be very much in the same vein as the book of the Church of the Empress. So the script, the spiritual texts of different religions that came before. There's one that you can read for sure that seems to be written in sort of an elven script, elven handwriting, and you do recognize some of the elven names for the old gods on it. It doesn't look like Acherai stopped at that one specifically. There's another one a couple of shelves down that looks to be in a dwarven script. Can you read dwarven?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
So it's
Common Elven
it's
is less.
absolutely, so you're not real sure what it is, but it's it's got that same sort of thickness and heft to it. So I mean, you're guessing it's probably along the same lines. Of note, the elven tome does look to be a good bit older than the dwarven one. There are a couple of histories. There's one that's called Hidden Empire. And glancing through it, it looks like, ironically enough, it does not look like it's a history of the human empire. It looks like it details more the sort of the history of the nomadic elves.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to flip through those, and like you can just tell me later
Okay.
anything interesting that I could find that might be useful for later, unless anything would be pertinent for what is immediately coming up. You can tell me later, so I don't burn more of everybody else's
well,
time.
So the most pertinent thing, and it's I can give this to you real quick. It does talk about the elves migrating from the south.
Okay. And when he gets permission to
Mhm.
get those scrolls out, I want to try to commit the hymns to memory.
Okay. Any
Or if I'm allowed to write stuff down, I'll just write it down.
I mean, he's not going to stop you if you want to write something down.
Well, I'm going to write it down. So I expect a hymnal later, but that's for later.
Okay.
No pressure.
No, not
Unless
at all.
Any of these things apply to like something that we are going to do in the next couple of hours?
No.
Okay, so yes, I will write down the hymns.
Okay.
All of the old gods.
To all of the old gods.
All of the ones that there are scrolls for there.
Okay. You do actually find... You do find hymns to all of them except balance.
Of course. Okay. No. Everybody else.
Okay.
I don't remember. I can look maybe. I'll have to look later.
Is that something to share with the table or no?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Did anything good occur to me because I looked apart?
Like what?
I don't know, like skill upgrades. I don't know, keep whatever. Whatever you want to
Skill
do.
Stab
upgrades.
bonuses,
You know,
skill
whatever.
upgrades, new
Um,
spells,
I
whatever.
don't know.
I mean, you've got some really cool ideas for some new drawing techniques you might want to try.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. So back at the Shaggin. So you guys will rendezvous back after she's done copying things down, and then Master Hobbs will lead you out of the library, and he actually asks if the two of you are hungry and would like to have a meal before you continue with the rest of your day.
Is he paying for it?
You get the sense he's offering a meal here in the cloister with the rest of the order.
So yes.
So yes, it's a free
Free meal.
meal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sure.
Is it like gruel?
It's not gruel. It's not fancy, but it's it's a
Modest.
it's a modest, hearty meal.
Okay. Okay.
So y'all will have the midday meal with the order, and then can continue with your day.
Very nice.
Back at the Shaggin, you guys are doing what?
So Killian is gonna pull the shaggin around so that when he unfolds it, it will be sort of facing the road,
Okay.
and Killian will go about unveiling it, and he basically is gonna set up shop.
So as you're doing that, and as you sort of spin it around and get it positioned, there's an awful lot of the other merchants around that are looking kind of,
Oh, do you have a permit?
what the heck is this guy doing?
Did you pay that?
You're a little bit further back from the
We're
road
outside of
than the
town.
rest of them.
Yep.
You're facing a completely wrong direction, and then you get there and start sort of, building out the rest of the wagon, and all of their eyes go wide, and it's like,
Jealous.
I gotta get one of those.
I like to imagine right at the end this little sign just.
Iron Lotus
Yep.
Innovation.
Yep, exactly. And all of the rest of them are like,
And I'm gonna look at Cabbage and Milo since they're here and be like, alright, so now would be the time to drum us up some business.
Yep.
Step right up. Wouldn't you like to buy our stuff?
What do we focus on?
We can do anything: a blacksmith, tinker shop,
Yep.
carpenter, leather worker, basic repairs,
Yep.
and you can tell anybody who's asking, I'll do it for half the going price in town.
Oh, you're gonna get murdered.
I gotta get the business. So
Just real quick, just so I'm aware, duration. How short of a duration of time? Because I know we're not going to be here for long, and then also depending on what Simi finds, do we want to say like 3 days is the maximum time?
yeah,
slot
for
allowed in?
right now, I wouldn't give it a time. Just like
Yeah.
generally, go around and tell people like, hey, we're running a special. It's half off, and tell them if they want proof of our craftsmanship, we can show it to them. Glad hand them.
Yep. I will help in persuading the crowd and letting people know.
Killian's just gonna go about getting the forge set up and getting out
okay.
some pieces he can show if people come by, and basically just getting ready to take in business so we can make some money.
All right. So as you're doing that, just all three of you kind of
I have a sneaky
Keeping-
suspicion
keeping
the
your
Merchants
eyes-
Guild is gonna have a problem with
keep,
this. but,
just
you
keeping
know.
your
Probably.
eyes open.
I'll worry
make
about
me
them.
perception checks.
Perception, you say? Okay. 13.
13,
17.
17.
13.
Hey.
Okay, so a couple of 13s and a 17. You guys are paying more attention to the crowd, just because you're trying to schmooze them
That's
and
your
pull them
job.
in, and that's your job. So you're paying attention to that. Killian, sort of looking out right at the edge of town here, you do notice that there are several construction projects underway.
Oh, lovely.
So it looks like the town is expanding, growing a little bit. One of them looks to be a lumber mill. Real close to the river, where the water from the river flowing can power everything. One of them is starting to put up big, like, vats and tanks. Looks like it might possibly be a brewery going up. And then there's a couple other that you're not real sure what it looks like. They're just sort of low buildings, whatever. But then, sort of out away from town, a good ways away from town, set atop a hill, there is a a very serious like stone wall going up with guard towers.
How? So when you say like a stone wall, like are they building out another city wall, or does this look like somebody's building like a fortified something?
More like a fortified something, but it's too small to be a keep.
Big enough to be like a tower?
Bigger than a tower, smaller than a keep.
That's weird. Okay. Okay. Good to know, I suppose.
Okay. So you're starting to see some interest, not only in, the
Yep.
goods that you've laid out, but the wagon itself, and you get as many inquiries from the other merchants about your wagon as you do about the goods that you're selling. There's a couple that actually ask where you got it from, and if there's any way they could maybe get one of their own.
Ooh. I have not considered this. Uh-oh.
How? That was like the first thing people were gonna ask.
Did not occur to Killian that merchants would think it would be nice to have like a traveling workshop.
You did.
I'm not your normal merchant. I don't just buy and sell goods. I make things.
Fair.
Killian will give him a rough estimate of how much time and how much money it cost, and he'll tell him like it's a hand-built, handcrafted design. Only one I know of.
Well, that's a shame. That could come in handy, and I could see it boosting sales. Be worth a pretty penny. Might be interested in getting a copy of the plans if you've got a set, or have a copy that you
Copy
could
of
sell.
the blueprints.
I'll tell them to come. Let's see, how many more days are until our map is finished?
Have we been here for like a day and a half now?
Hey, we're on the
Has
4th
them-
day, so another 3 days.
All right, I'll tell them in
Doesn't
2.5 days,
seem
come
that
back
long.
by and I'll see what I can have up for them. Because guess who doesn't have a blueprint of how this was made?
Oh no!
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Guess who didn't write his work down?
That, yeah.
Always
Alright.
show your work.
No, just use a calculator. Don't show your workings. If you got the answer right, it doesn't care how you got there.
You would always have a calculator in your pocket, Brayden.
If
You want to bet?
if there is a problem that I don't have access to a calculator, that means the world has gone to shit, and I need to worry about different stuff other than math. That means the sun is gone.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So once you've got everything set up, I assume you're gonna go to work.
Yep, and
And
anybody
just
who
start
comes
making
by
stuff.
and needs repairs done or wants something made or wants to buy stuff, he'll
Okay.
do his best to drum up business and make
All
money.
right. Sounds
Go
good.
into presentation mode, just like having people along like the picket fence, just gushing about the workmanship and how accessible and open air concept the workshop is. That way you are not filling your lungs with dangerous fumes from your workshop. It just goes freely out into the air,
And
and
hurt everyone else.
you are able to travel to
Yep.
different places where you can actually go to where the metal is mined instead of purchasing it elsewhere, and go along this huge spiel of just
And that is only increasing the clamor for plans or other, where can they buy the wagon, and where did you get it, how can I get one,
And
so
I will, of course, say in 2.5 days we will have something that hopefully should be able to accommodate for such things.
Yeah, make good on that promise.
Don't mind me, I have to Google something.
So, but I will also say that we are able to
Okay.
make stuff as well for half the cost.
All right.
Try and drum up some business so we can get some money.
Cool. All right. Well, the morning goes on much in that same vein. You get a few orders for items, and a few sales. Most of the interest again seems to be more the cart than anything else. But go ahead and let's just say. You are able to sell about 120 gold pieces worth of
not shabby.
goods.
There we go. That's the kind of money we need to bring in.
I mean, you've got a lot of interest in the cart. Obviously, the novelty of it.
Can we start getting a
what
list
you're-
down of people who want to... I will start making a list of
Okay.
individuals who are pre-ordering the blueprints.
Reordering
Oh,
the
boy.
blueprints. Love it.
Oh boy.
So you're busy doing that. Cabbage and
Yeah.
Milo. Make me a perception check real quick.
Certainly. Ugh, 5.
5.
I'll use a thing real quick. Oh, that's better. 18.
18.
Unnatural 20.
Nice. Okay. So it's just short of midday, and a couple of things happen. One, there's sort of this buzz that runs through the crowd of merchants out here on the fairgrounds, basically, where you guys have been set up shop. It seems like there's a rumor that a fairly famous celebrity has been spotted in town, and there's sort of a buzz. Fairly famous bard apparently is playing at one of the taverns.
Do we know any bards?
I don't think so. I mean, I know Chipper the Bard, but she's in a different universe. So.
We know the bard. Wasn't there a bard in the group of adventurers that first came to Setterton?
Yeah.
Wasn't one of them a bard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was she
I think that's
famous?
the only bard we know.
I mean, if she was, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But we also live in the middle
Setterton,
of nowhere.
yeah.
Okay.
So that rumor starts sort of going around. The other thing that happens, sort of right concurrently with that, there starts to be sort of off in the distance a cloud of dust being kicked up along the road.
Okay.
And as it gets closer, it sort of resolves itself into a column of mounted Imperial soldiers.
I'm going. Do we have a wide-brimmed hat that I could just kind of like put over my face to slightly cover it?
I mean,
should
I
need
don't,
to?
but...
I
I'm-
have a disguise
Oh, wait.
kit.
Hang on.
Roll me
like-
just roll me a d20.
Sure.
I take that back.
1.
That would be a no.
Okay.
Well, we do have 8 sets of common clothing. So if a hat of that caliber would
Yeah,
be
not of
included,
that type.
What
would it
about
be-
from my disguise kit?
Just roll me a d20.
Choose an eyeliner to give him a quick little mustache.
Yes.
17.
Really
17?
bad snidely mustache.
It's not a wide-brimmed hat, but it's sort of one of those sort of nondescript, you've seen them everywhere kind of hats.
Okay, so we've got a few things. to
Yeah,
sort of
you've got a
change
few
your
things you
appearance
can
slightly.
Just
change some
something
stuff
that
around.
should I need to, I can just
Yeah.
put it down to cover my face a tiny bit because it's Imperial soldiers.
Yeah,
Or Imperial.
It's sort of a low Stetson kind
That's
of deal.
What's the quote? We'd like to avoid any imperial entanglements.
Yeah, so I will just put on one of those.
Okay.
Continuing to do
Okay.
the spiel, but should they pass by, I just kind of...
Are they headed into town?
Yeah, they're headed into town. In fact, they sort of the first you see them because first you see them, you look up as they're passing in front of the shaggin. Just
Howdy. Hello.
they're not even paying attention. They're just
Rough
going.
estimate, how many?
The full column looks to be about 100, 150.
Anyone I recognize?
No.
Okay.
An all horseman.
Yeah, mostly.
Huh.
I mean, there's some, like some wagons in the back with goods
Right,
and stuff
with
like that,
but-
supplies.
All cavalry.
Does it look like they have enough supplies who have just gotten here to... Do they have enough supplies just to get here, or does it look
That's
like they
a good
have
question.
more that they could continue on with?
Make me an investigation check.
I think it was 12. Yeah, 12.
It's hard to tell. They are the wagons are covered, so you can't really get a good look at what they're carrying. You, I started to say you would know, but you actually wouldn't. Adrian would have known because he was in the military, but there are a good number of supply wagons. It's hard to say if they're carrying just enough to have reached Lamont's Wells or if they've got enough to continue on.
Okay.
To the only other place to go, which is Saturday.
That's the...
Soldiers.
Yeah. I'll just kind of look at you with like a slightly puzzled and quizzical look before continuing on with...
Best guess, Keith, based on what I've seen of Lamont's Wells, do I think there's facilities in town to house that many soldiers that just show up?
Or even that many horses.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't explored every nook and cranny of town, but if you were going to guess, you'd probably say no.
Okay.
That means they're probably continuing on.
Well, or they're camping outside of town.
A little bit worried, but I'm just going to continue on shelling out to
Okay.
get us some more money.
Okay. Those of you who are watching do note that they don't go all the way into town. One of the structures you noted that you couldn't really tell what it was, they sort of pull up next to that. A couple of the soldiers at the front of the line, at the head of the line, dismount, hand off their reins, and walk over to the construction site and start talking to the workers. Obviously, you're far enough away, you don't hear what the conversation is, but one of the soldiers starts kind of pointing at places in the construction site.
Okay.
All right. Mal.
Let's see if this lady is actually sketchy.
So what are
Oh,
are
probably.
you talking? Are you watching? Are you looking? Or are you paying attention to just your work? I mean, what's your...
He's pretty focused on his work, mostly because this isn't like his main. He's a fair hand with his tools,
Okay.
but this is not his usual fare, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably pretty focused on his work. When he takes breaks or whatever, he'll keep casual conversation, trying to get a feel for the lady, but like
Okay.
that's also not a strength of his.
Okay. All right. Roll me a d4. See how this pans out.
Can't pick it up.
I have a big head, big little arms.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
That's so good.
1.
Okay.
T-Rex.
So middle of the morning, as you're sitting there doing your work, the bell sort of rings, and gentleman walks in. He looks vaguely familiar. You're not real sure why. He doesn't stop at the counter, or he doesn't stop and look at any of the cases, any of the counters, or anything like that. He kind of saunters his way towards the back. The lady you've been working for, and I have the note sitting on my desk upstairs what her name was.
I didn't write it down.
Yeah,
so
I think it was Nessa. Does that sound
Yes,
right?
It was either Nessa or Nissa.
Oh,
Nessa,
actually,
I
I
think.
do have it written down. It's just
Nissa.
in my book.
Nissa. Okay.
Nissa
So
Lefrey.
So Nissa actually, when she realizes he's there, she comes out and sort of great big smile on her face, greets him and sort of gives him a hug, and come on back. They start to have sort of a quiet conversation in her office close by. If you are wanting to listen in, or
I don't know that it'll matter.
With your perception score, probably not.
Mal has an 8 passive.
yeah, with an 8 passive, you wouldn't catch anything. If you're actively trying to listen, I'd make you roll for it.
I mean, if it is not something he could like listen for while he's doing his work, he's not gonna do anything to risk.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Fair.
Fair.
He'll just start whispering his own secrets to himself.
Okay. That being the case, it's not long after that that the door sort of rings again, and as you look up, it is one of the city guards, and he's got his hand on the shoulder of an obvious like teenaged boy who is standing there like downcast expression, just kind of pulled in on himself, and the guard is sort of looking around, and it, not seeing Nissa, his eyes fasten on you.
Officer?
Can you tell me where the proprietress is?
She's in a private meeting at the moment. Can I pass along a message?
Well,
Pass along a kid?
yeah, that's probably, yeah. If you can watch him until she gets out, and he sort of gives the kid a little bit of a half shove, and he stumbles forward a step.
Is he like...
No,
Tired or
oh no. But he's just kind of standing there looking at you.
Come here. I need some help. Hold this really still. I'm gonna tie this wire around your finger. I need a good
And
size.
so he sort of looks over his shoulder and he comes over and he
Officer,
does.
come
It's
back.
like,
I need an
I don't-
adult.
I don't know who you are. And this is the kid.
Yeah. No, my name is, Sorry, Derek. Steven is having an issue.
Right, okay.
My name is Derek. Pleasure.
Ken,
Ken.
how do you know? When did you start working for Mom?
This morning. Well, yesterday. This morning.
Okay.
Yesterday she had to leave early or something, and then... Court case? Hearing?
Just jump right into it.
And his face just like goes beet red.
Look, don't worry about it. I've been in my fair share of trouble before, too. What's going on? Hold that still. He's gonna just like hand him a piece of wire.
Oh, and you hear the sort of the ting of the door as the guard, seeing that he is now, his charge is not going
Your
anywhere.
problem now.
Yep.
He is vacating the premises. So me and my girlfriend got caught. Caught.
Adventuring.
Yeah.
Comes the word.
I mean,
Teenager.
15, 16.
Jeez.
They get younger and younger.
They're not supposed to patrol the fucking cemetery.
Ooh, late young man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably your first mistake.
How romantic.
Hey, maybe she's into that.
That's
Probably
true.
your first mistake.
Sounds like a great
Also,
By the way, this is one of those random events that the organic towns came up with.
Hang on. Organic Towns came up with teenager gets caught adventuring with his girlfriend in the cemetery.
Guards arrested teens in the cemetery who were having relations.
cool. Well,
Yes, it is one of those.
Nice.
I won't say anything if you don't.
Okay.
Get on the next.
Can I offer a bit of advice? As someone with some adventuring under my belt too. Maybe I shouldn't have said under my belt.
Wow.
Oh,
Bad.
for sure Mal was a virgin.
Even throwing my glasses in
I
the
don't-
dice tray felt
I don't
nice.
know. I don't know you to know if your advice is any good, but go ahead.
Clearly you have some sense then. They always say word to the wise, and that's because it's only the wise ones that listen, even though the dumb ones that need it. But,
Some mental
And you
arithmetic
can
there.
see him doing mental gymnastics
Yeah.
to try and figure out if you just called him dumb.
it depends on whether you listen or not. It's probably best to avoid the outdoors in general if you're looking for places that you're not going to get caught. Outdoors
So,
just
like, the
generally is not a
sewer.
great...
Shagging him.
I was,
Is there like a mausoleum in the cemetery? Like, I would avoid outside in general. The cemetery should be off limits.
How
but, like,
old are you?
Inside.
This is a
35.
15. This is a 15-year-old child you're talking
Well,
to.
it's clearly doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
So-
Mal's not going to be able to get him to stop.
Nope.
I guess that kind of makes sense, but there's extra guards on the mausoleums these days.
Maybe
Just avoid the cemetery. Yeah,
Mm.
but inside, generally speaking, is going to be much safer for you. Also, there's the chance that some kid is going to wander by. You don't want that.
Yeah, 14-year-old.
A child.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of good advice.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
How old is the girlfriend?
Don't ask
How
questions.
long is this? How long do you need me to hold this?
oh, sorry, you can let go. I finished.
Okay.
Hush.
No one said anything.
No, I'm watching Danny's face though. Anyway, what's your plan for the rest of your day?
Probably not a lot.
Fair enough. It might be worth avoiding the guards for a bit. Once I finish up
No, Mom's not gonna let me go anywhere. She just bailed my ass out of jail.
Oh, so they were just bringing you by this morning from jail. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you just got caught, and that last night was a separate issue. I misunderstood. I apologize. Would you maybe want to earn a penny or two?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
If you don't have anything else to do with your time.
Oh, you're a felon.
That's true.
Have you picked up any of your mom's trade aside from holding wires still?
Not really, no.
Would you like to?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
My friends and I, we have a little shop outside of town.
Don't bring
If you
us
wanted-
into this. Don't bring us into this weird.
If you wanted to pick some skills
Don't
up.
do this to me.
Claudius is showing.
No, it's
right?
not even Claudius. Mal was willing to let the kid hang, but if he's thinking maybe he can earn a little bit extra because Mal still has nowhere near enough to buy this stupid gem. If you wanted to learn some, I'd be happy to teach you.
The 3 more
I
days
mean,
we're gonna be
all
here.
right. If Mom lets me out of her sight, I guess. Sure.
We'll talk to her. Are you expecting somebody? She's back in a meeting with some guy. Are you expecting someone?
No.
Okay, well, maybe your reunion's better after they finish.
Well, so about this time, you do hear the door sort of open, and her voice comes floating out. It's like, well, I'll keep my eyes open, but I haven't heard of anything like that coming up.
Here, hold this. Look busy.
And he's like focused on what you're doing. The two of them do come back out to the front. The guy turns and sort of shakes her hand, gives her a hug, and then he turns and takes a step, sees Ken, and his face just sort of becomes thunderclouds. And he's got this sort of growl,
Shotgun weddings!
and then just sort of stomps through the shop out front.
Does the kid flinch or anything? Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
there.
he sort of flinches a little bit and very pointedly does not watch. Shit.
Well, I could bend that a little bit. Good.
And so Nis is like, oh, Ken, so they finally dropped you off, did they? Yeah. You know you're grounded, right? Yeah. What possessed you? Mom? What?
The spirit of adventure.
I've heard the stories of you and Dad when you were my age. Come on, don't be a hypocrite. She just kind of stands there.
Awkward to be
She
Mal right
starts
now.
to get a little. She starts to get a little red around the collar. It's like, we'll talk about this later. You are not to leave this shop.
Mal's just like, these wires, though.
Can I?
Point of order.
I actually was wondering. I mentioned the business that I was looking at.
Mhm.
My friends also have a business of their own. I was wondering actually if you wanted him specifically to be busy and maybe picking up some worthwhile skills, he could come learn with us.
It's out of your hair.
I've heard I make a great babysitter.
Now your Claudius is showing.
No, again, well.
So
Put down
she
the shovel.
looks at him. Will you stay out of trouble if I let you do this?
I don't know if working fast. That's
I
what's
mean-
stand trouble.
It's not.
Oh, I just
Yeah? We'll try it one day, one time. Make sure you stay out of trouble. And if you can't, then you don't leave this shop. You got it? Yes, ma'am.
I think that's pretty fair.
Just one. We'll try it. We'll see.
He's got a fair, steady hand. He,
That's not the
very
kind of thing a
flexible.
mom wants to hear.
Nope.
He's got good coordination.
Nope, not going there at all. So this is a little awkward.
Now is when we got there.
Well, Mal has been talking basically since everybody, started, so...
So
do
she.
you have another project that I can, work
Busy
on,
myself
please?
Been bullshitting this ring for ages.
Yeah, the project is babysit my son.
So she does pull out a couple of other orders and hand them over to you and said, see what you can do with these.
Okay.
They're a little bit more elaborate. She obviously is sort of trusting what you're capable of. See what you can do with these. Keep him busy, and we'll maybe talk about tomorrow. You can take him and let him be with your friends, I guess, or whatever.
I suppose tomorrow is just a work day.
I was a young man once, and having things to keep you busy is important.
Him keeping busy is not the problem.
Keeping busy and productive.
Put down the shovel.
She's just gonna sort of shake her head and turn and walk away.
Repopulation is productive.
Some would say reproductive.
Don't you shake your head. That is 100% something you would say.
I just
Brady
made it to the
beat you to it.
I'm staying clean because I don't want the DM to
All right, so so this kind of gets everybody caught up to about midday. How are you guys wanting to spend your afternoons since morning is pretty well done?
Take a break. Have a.
Well, I was gonna say, how
Just-
busy am I?
That's true.
Like, do I have job requests piling up, or am I staying on top of it?
I mean, you're sort of staying even with it. There's a couple, towards the end of one project, you'll start to like have a couple of small things piled up that you haven't gotten to yet. But once you get those out of the way, it's like you're basically staying even.
Because only we call it the Shaggin', I will probably refer to it as the mobile workshop and living.
I think you're gonna call it the Shaggin', because that's what it is.
No, to the other people.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna call it the Shaggin'.
The Shaggin'.
Oh.
Yep.
Welcome to the
You're not
Shaggin'.
gonna market it as the
Yep.
Shaggin'.
My boss has said that it is the Shaggin', so.
The designer
So,
gets to call that shot.
So
buddy.
see me and Dells after your midday meal. What's sort of on the docket for you guys?
Do we need to do anything on the way back in to talk to the guys? I mean, I feel like they probably are reasonably secure with Cabbage there. I mean,
Do we need to get paper?
but
Freeze
do
it.
we need to
No, I got
check
plenty.
anything out? Do we need
Because I know
to
you're
just
going to have
go
to
and...
boom, for instance, and mass coffee.
Not that I have.
It's the
Okay.
copying part I'm worried about.
I guess we'll head our way back to the Shaggin' then.
Like a male burlesque
Is
show.
there a male
Is
burlesque
town?
show in
Oh.
town?
Oh, I saw this on the list.
Why, yes. There are brothels in town, and they do cater both directions. All directions. Every direction.
Bells is gone.
I turn
Where?
around and she's gone.
Not the person I expected for us to have to drag out of a brothel.
Please go with her.
Okay.
Not her.
So
I
CB
thought
is
maybe
going
Tommy,
to chase
maybe
down
now.
Dells to make
Okay.
sure that
I'm
she
glad
at
I
least
didn't
doesn't
make
get
your list.
into too much
I
trouble.
could always innately sense
Milo's too damaged.
went down.
Yes, she
That's
just
fair.
feels
I
that
need
there is a
a
brothel
loving
that has what she
Embrace,
wants.
not a
So, is there
hate.
something
Yeah.
specific that you're shopping for?
Not that Dells is gonna get into at this table. No. In general, she's off to have some fun.
So
Unless
not
you
that
mean-
Stephanie is comfortable
Not that
expressing.
Stephanie's gonna say on camera.
What if we turn the camera off?
Yikes.
Welcome to Glassmakers
Oh.
Guild After Dark.
Let's see.
Behind the beaded curtain.
My husband is still asleep, so
It's fine. We all know what she
Yeah.
wants. Pull up a picture of Tommy the Power Ranger. There you go.
there we go.
So I guess while she's having fun, because I don't want her to be in trouble or anything, I'm
Sitting
going
outside
to
the door.
pretty much sit outside the door
Just like
awkwardly.
outside of this brothel.
just like, okay.
Everybody thinks that you're there.
Simi's like,
Drumming up
I am
this.
uncomfortable
Oh, no.
with this.
Oh no!
Just Just
Surely
leave.
people
Just-
don't think I'm
Well,
very
she
So-
didn't want us to.
Yeah,
You are
I was gonna
still
say,
wearing
she was in
your
her
robes.
monastic
You're still wearing the
I don't know
robes
what
of the
to-
church.
Hey man,
I mean, is it against the
there are
rules?
folks that go in nun robes.
Well, there you go then. Yeah.
But
Oh
nobody knows.
no, do people think
Someone's
that
gonna look at you and you're their fetish.
this is like kink dress?
Yep.
But what nobody sees is that Nels is just using them as an anatomy practice.
He's like,
And
okay,
they're severely confused.
She's
like,
just
uh-huh.
drawing them in the
I'm
room.
just drawing.
like, I will pay you for an hour, and they're like, cool.
Like Leo DiCaprio on the Titanic. Just like.
Drumming back one of your friends.
Somebody make a note. We're not loaning her gold because now we know
Probably
where it's going.
smart.
Not yet, but
Oh
we
no,
will.
how much is this costing, Wakey?
That's a-
Yes, what are brothel prices?
What
there,
is the
Keith?
going price at the brothel?
Did you think you were gonna have to come up with this?
I can trade them.
I should have known.
You
What?
can trade them cheese wheels.
Prostitutes get hungry too.
I.
Well, you know.
Yeah, quote that,
Yep.
please. Steven.
Okay, well, Danny.
So we're gonna have to go drag Dells out of the brothel, but what's gonna bring us to the brothel is going to be the like 5 or 6 people with broken bones from approaching Simi.
They're like, hey.
So what's really funny is you do get some eyes, like side eyes from patrons. And at one point the madam actually approaches you and says, So are you like one of the new girls?
I mean, I'm new to town.
Over here.
Not the right
I-
answer.
So are you looking for work then?
Everybody
I don't know,
else is working.
Simi. Are you looking for work?
I mean,
Oh,
I think
dear.
my friends are handling that part.
Handling those parts?
I love having negative charisma.
I already have
So
it,
so your
thank you.
your friends? So you've got someone that handles all of your business already?
I mean,
I
generally,
mean, it's a
yeah.
compliment. She thinks you're real good looking.
So
Were you fulfilled?
do I know your business manager?
I don't.
Also, if you
I mean, have you
You're-
been to Shaggin?
You're gonna get the mafia in this town sick on us because they're gonna think we're pimping girls out of the chain.
Yeah.
Where do you think we're storing them? It's an open air concept.
There's a
Steven
locked
just
room.
got
That's
a
fair.
It's actually not locked.
I don't think I'm familiar with the Shaggin. No, is it new in town?
I mean, it's just that little like
It's a traveling.
yeah, it's
brothel.
a traveling workshop down the road.
The ideas spinning in this woman's head.
I'm getting lightheaded. I need to take a second.
We decided to take
So-
our show on the road.
So
That's what they're saying.
it's not a fixed.
temporary,
Easily
easily moved.
It's a temporary.
Yeah, it's mobile structure.
It's like a meth lab, okay?
So you just go where the business is.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh no!
Hey,
we
Killian,
bring
I
business-
just got like a
I got a
letter
weird
from.
request.
I just got a weird request from. This is the fanciest like scented leather I've ever seen. It's gilt
It's gonna
gold.
need to have extra shocks.
It's
Huh.
it's got like they're asking for poles.
I guess you'd make extra if you followed like the army around or something.
Follow the. Oh my gosh.
I didn't. What? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear
Fire
it.
the army.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
you
oh,
could-
actually.
you can make extra if you did that, especially with all of like their forging needs and stuff like that. I bet that would be
Ooh,
probably.
kinky.
I mean, I guess if
Can't
you're
decide if this is gonna be good
into
for business or
forging.
bad for business.
It takes all kinds, honey.
They're asking for like
You're not
strange
wrong.
lighting setups.
Okay, so you're not here looking for a job. Why can I help you? What are you here for?
I have a friend in there,
Oh,
and
okay.
I just,
okay.
wanted to make
Do-
sure
do you
Hold
need-
on.
she's safe and stuff.
Oh, I run a very safe shop. Yes.
Well, that's good to know.
Can I help you with refreshment or anything of that nature?
I
Well,
mean,
would you
somebody
care
else in the
perhaps
business.
for a little bit of entertainment of your own?
do you have bards?
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, if that's your thing, I bet I can.
Whip up a
I
costume.
could find someone who will tell you there are.
I think
Somebody
Felipe
probably
knows a
plays
couple
the
of.
Do you
I think
mean
Felipe knows Wonderwall on
that kind
the
of
loot.
entertainment?
Yes.
I
Here's one.
I
Plenty of it. I can
For the love of, you have an 18 insight.
well, I mean, entertainment can mean a lot of different things, and I knew I was in a brothel, but I just, didn't think about that.
Fair.
Because I have the charisma of a backwards turtle.
Delivering fudge.
I don't think that's probably for me.
Well, all right. If you'd care for some refreshment, that's perfectly fine. If you'll excuse me,
Sounds better.
the doorbell rings. If you'll excuse me, dear.
Oh,
and she
yeah.
goes and greets the next customer. So the question for you, Steph, is how long of a session do you ask for?
I come out after like an hour and I'm like, man, my hands are cramping.
You broke baby.
Next
So-
question, what were you
So
paying
for the hour,
Yes.
Oh.
so for the hour, you wanted like chiseled, really nice. Yeah. Okay. That is going to be 4 gold pieces
I can do that. I can do that.
For how long?
for an hour.
Damn.
That's either a really good deal or a really cheap brothel.
I give the 4 gold.
Now that is not top tier. That is sort of mid tier.
Does he just look really confused coming out, or does
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
My hands are cramping and he comes out confused. Take it what you will.
Huh.
I'm just like, thank you.
Huh. Did you have fun?
And so
Oh, yes.
Mal,
Good.
the work
Stimulating.
keeps you
Excellent.
pretty busy.
I guess it's supposed to
Ken
be.
doesn't say a lot the rest of the afternoon because his mom is sitting right there, and she's sort of every so often she'll glower
Squinting at
over at him and shake her head,
I'll
mumble
buy-
under her breath.
I'll buy lunch for everybody. I'll step out for a little bit to buy lunch for everyone.
So those of you at the Shaggin, how are you spending your afternoon?
So the worst.
Probably just bring him a quick sandwich and a cup of tea, which is coffee, because that's the only thing we have in the shaggin. Just set it next to his workshop, give him a thumbs up.
Actually,
And,
Cabbage, I have
Yeah.
a special assignment for you.
Okay.
You want to go poke around and see if you can figure out why our friends with the horses are in town? Carefully.
Okay.
I mean, I would send him, but I feel like that's a bad idea.
That's horrible.
So you know what I
terrible
got.
idea. Okay.
All right. So how you doing that, Cabbage?
Are they still over at the building area?
Yeah, so it looks like most of the company has dismounted and is starting to set up sort of a campish area. The wagons have pulled off and are, one of them looks like it's setting up to be the chuck wagon, basically the cook wagon. Couple others are a couple of the drivers look like they're gathering up all the horses and tending to the draft horses at least. A couple of the lower level soldiers are tending to the mounts.
Okay.
I am going to start walking that way.
Mm-hmm.
And as I walk, I'm just going to kind of observe everybody and see if there's somebody who looks like they might be likely to talk, but also would be a person that I could talk to about offering our services.
Have you heard what the Shaggin has to offer?
Okay, so those are actually at
It's a Wonder Wagon.
might be two different.
Here's one.
people.
Wonder wagon.
Make me an insight check.
It's got everything you want.
Insight.
Yes, it's a jingle. It has a jingle. It's not a good jingle.
22. Okay. So with a 22, you can sort of pick out of the group a couple of likely targets. One of them is the quartermaster, who is sort of looking over the supply wagons and double checking against lists to make sure everything is as he expects it to be. You get a sense that if you wanted to talk about offering services, he might be the one you'd want to talk to, because he takes care of the company's money and supplies and things like that. So he'd probably be the one you want to talk to. As far as someone to just sort of gossip with and chew the fat, there's a handful of those around. Tend to be the younger, lower ranked soldiers, and it looks like they're kind of starting to loaf around their campsite just a little bit. The construction site itself, it's a bustle of activity. The senior officers for the company are over there. Again, what looks to be the company commander is sort of standing and pointing and directing. He is standing there next to what looks to be the foreman for the job site, and the foreman has a fairly large scroll of paper that he's got, sort of pointing things out to the company commander on.
I'm going to jaunt my way over the quartermaster.
Here goes Kevin, just skipping.
Right. We're supposed to have, so you hear him talking to one of the wagon drivers. Yeah, we're supposed to have 15 bags of feed here. I'm only seeing 13. What happened to the 2 extra? And he's just chewing them out one side and down the other. Even when the driver sort of gestures over to one of the other wagons, it seems like he's trying to say, well, they're over there. We were told them. It doesn't, it's he's just reaming him out because it's not where he wanted it to be. Things are not exactly the way the quartermaster wanted it. So as you're walking up, he sort of sees you and says, "What you want?"
Oh, just when you have a minute.
I'll be right there. He finishes it, basically, chewing the guy up one side and down the other, and he turns around and says, "All right, you got 5 minutes."
Oh, well, hello, sir. Nice to meet you. My name's Eleanor. I come from the Isle of Notice. We are a traveling workshop, and I just wanted to see if you guys needed any forge work done or anything that we might be able to help with. I know soldiering's a hard business.
Yeah, it is a hard business. And we normally take our own forging blacksmiths with us. They haven't caught up yet. Had a couple of horses throw a shoe. You guys handle that?
I believe so.
All right. What you charge?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I am more of the drummer up of business. My boss does the pricing. I can work that out with him.
Right. I'll need to know what you charge before I can offer you any of the Empress's gold for the work.
Absolutely. And I'm a good Empress woman, I am. So we will...
Roll me your deception check.
As a side note, your background does give you advantage on rolls to avoid getting
To act innocent or avoid blame.
Yep.
Okay, that's better. What am I rolling?
Your deception.
Deception. Okay. We should be fine. Where the freak is... There we go. Okay. Oh, good grief. 25.
Beats his 7. Right. Well, you give me that figures, and then we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so sorry, I didn't catch your name.
J. Jonah.
Jay Jonah.
Boo! Boo!
Give me pictures of Spider-Man!
I'll be right back with those numbers.
Right. And then you, as you're walking away, you hear him turn and start chewing somebody else out.
Yep.
I did not decide that was his name until just right that moment, but I'm gonna go with it.
No?
Alright.
Can you shoot horses?
I can certainly make horseshoes. Keith, is shooting horses covered under any of my associated skills?
I mean, I feel like if you worked at a forge.
well, that's why, like, I'm confident I can make the horseshoes. I don't
There
know
is
if
a-
I can put it on.
So there is a difference between being a blacksmith and a farrier.
Right, but there is
But
not
it
a
depends
farrier
on-
option. So
No.
what would farrier fall under?
You would have to use your animal handling. So are you proficient? If you are proficient, then I would say yes, you have experience doing so.
I haven't seen anyone proficient in animal handling ever.
Would Cabbage not have any
I
experience
suppose-
All of my
on, like, a
other
farm
players
doing
for the
that,
one that I'm
or-
doing quarterly are.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I know how to make the shoes that go on the horse. I've never actually put them
Definitely does not know
on.
how to shoot a horse. You can't shoot fish.
Why?
Well,
Shoot
I
flies.
offered our services,
Uh-huh.
and apparently the blacksmiths haven't caught up, and they have some horses that need shoeing.
Did you have a +4?
Do you know how to shoot? No, of course you do.
I am insulted you thought I could even try. You thought, I am insulted that you think I even know where the horseshoe goes.
It's on the ass, right?
I only
Because it
ride
hurts
the
when
damn
it
things.
sits
I know
down.
nothing else.
Okay, so their problem is their smiths aren't there.
Yeah.
So do they have a farrier?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Like, do they
What
have
did
people
he
who
say
know how?
specifically?
He said the blacksmiths had not caught up.
He did say blacksmith, so maybe they just need horseshoes.
I can go with you and talk to him.
Yeah, I mean,
Give
I
the
can
current rates.
provide the
I don't
horseshoes.
think you should come with me. I just need the rates.
What is the average going rate for horseshoes,
horseshoes?
Keith?
Player's handbook should
I have
have.
no idea.
Well, okay, so here's what Killian will tell you.
the information.
He'll tell you the standard rate, and he'll say, and tell him we'll give him half off that.
And captains or commanders get it for free. At least give a bit of reputation from them, at least.
I mean, he said like 4 horses.
You're already
Yeah.
getting a discount.
Yeah, if the officers bring their horse over and they can show me that they're an officer, they get it for free.
Oh.
We want officers coming over here.
You can always get them to talk.
I mean, I think I can do that anyway.
I'll leave it up to you. You've got a better idea. But ask them if they have anybody. You know, tell them that we're craftsmen, not farriers. So if they have anybody or any soldiers who are familiar with how to put shoes on, they bring them over. I'll cut the price in half again.
So 4th.
Yep.
Alright.
As a side note, Killian, there are 4 more on the list for the pre-orders of the blueprints.
So hold on. What does that bring the total up to now?
We'll roll a D100.
No,
What a D12.
roll 2d12 minus 1.
-1?
Minus 1.
13. Oh, wait. No, wait. 14.
There you go.
14. So we had 10. We're now at 14.
Okay. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but okay.
For what?
Blueprints for the shaggin'.
You aren't back yet. You're busy.
I mean, she's only busy for an hour apparently, so you
She's
know
busy.
we might be getting back sometime close by.
Yeah, we'll say you guys are walking up about that time.
On the way out, I am going to ask Del's like, oh, okay, are you ready to go back to the Shaggin? Like as we pass the lady that was talking, because I
I'd
could
be like, yeah, my grip is shot.
And you
gonna
just
be a
kind of
problem
see
for
the
later, right?
you just kind of see the madam's jaw drop as she's like, wait, what?
What's happening?
I was halfway expecting she was going to follow. Just thought that would be very funny. She can experience the Shaggin for herself.
So you guys walk up about the time that Killian's saying, I don't know how we're going to do that.
Ooh, do what?
Aye.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back.
That took longer than I expected. You didn't get into trouble, did you?
I don't think so.
No?
Us.
I don't like the hesitation.
See, I feel like that's a question. It's either a yes or a
I
no.
think
It
it kind
shouldn't
of
take that
depends
much
on how
thought
you
about.
define trouble, because I hear other people asking about, like, trouble. Never mind. No.
No
Okay.
trouble.
So you get the
So I have a rough idea of. Oh, and I got the map on the way out, right?
Yeah.
So I have a.
So you guys are still out in the open.
yeah. So
Yeah,
actually, as you come
yeah.
up, after Kanasa, he's gonna be like, oh, actually, you should go change before
Ooh,
we might
yeah.
have some Imperial soldiers
Yeah,
coming
but
over.
we got what we need, and as soon as you say
Yep.
that, I was like, boom. I'll even kind of go to some amount of trouble in making myself look a little different than usual.
Okay.
My different hairstyle than my usual giganticus braid and stuff.
Should I put my eye patch on?
Sure.
How about you go sit in that room over there?
We're
And
outside. What
read.
room?
Did you just scratch her?
No, there's a room in the Shaggin. There's one room.
Small open floor.
Oh.
How about you sit in there and practice your drawing? I don't know.
Oh no, I can't. My hands are just.
How much drawing did you do?
A lot.
She practiced some.
Okay.
You know what? I'm happier not knowing.
I ignore him and I stay outside.
Go let the.
Color me a shot.
All right.
I love
Well, I'm gonna go back.
Go for it.
All right.
Hello, Captain Commander Officer Jones. How do I address you?
Jonah.
I'm a sergeant.
Sergeant Jones.
Jonah.
Was it Jones or Jonah?
Jonah.
Oh, I'm gonna say Jones.
Yeah, I figured. I kind of knew what you were doing.
No
It's fine.
respect.
You know what? It's fine. I've been called worse.
Oh, did I get your name wrong?
Sergeant Worse.
A little bit.
Sergeant Worse.
Oh,
Jonah.
Jonah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
What you got?
So, do you have farriers among your men?
Farriers are usually with the blacksmiths, but I think one of the boys might know a thing or two about putting a shoe on a horse. Yeah.
Gotcha. Apparently, my boss can make excellent horseshoes, but he doesn't usually put them on. So,
Well, that's a shame. You really ought to learn that skill. That's a very valuable skill.
I agree. I'm gonna talk to him about that. But what he said is
You have him come talk to me. I'll tell him. I'll knock some sense into it.
excellent idea. I think
this
you
guy
could
likes
use
you.
it. But anyway, so because of that bit of lack, we are going to offer you half the price, and then since your men will be doing part of the work, we'll half it again. So a fourth the going price.
Well,
half to
yeah.
help with anything else you need.
That's a
Officers.
that's a real good that's a real good deal there. I think we'll have to take you up on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if any of the horses happen to be officers' horses, we'll do those for free.
Oh, it gets better and better. Thank you. I'll be sure to check that out.
Perfect. So, if you don't mind me asking, I didn't realize that there was going to be a garrison here. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're just getting the barracks built now.
Oh, very nice, very nice. The queen, or not the queen, I'm so sorry. The Empress getting more of a presence out here.
Yep, it's been too long since there's been an Imperial presence. Her Majesty, may she live forever, felt like it was needed to bring a little bit of civilization to the wilds.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. As somebody who travels from place to place, I absolutely agree with you.
Oh, where you been?
Oh, we've been to Setterton, we're here, we're heading out, just maybe we'll make it up to the capital, who knows?
We're so we're gonna be setting up base here, but we'll be sending patrols out Setterton way. Can you tell me anything about what's going on out there?
Real quiet town.
Oh, good.
Good Empress fearing
People.
people.
I keep wanting to say Queensman.
Yeah. This barracks is going to be something very well done. It's going to be the first barracks with its own first built-in bomb.
Yep.
24.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, you hear anything about Lamont, about the town here, about wherever you've been, wherever you're going? Let me know, okay?
Absolutely, and also as we like to travel along, if you want to send your men over to sit around the campfire, talk to us for a bit, we love exchanging stories. If that's allowed, I know soldiering.
Yeah, I would try and keep the boys close. Keep them safe.
Understandable. Absolutely.
There are some people around here, out on the fringes, don't really like us soldiers much.
Really?
So gotta look out for the boys.
Absolutely.
Let's
Keep them
see.
safe.
Spices.
Arsenic.
There
it is.
Well,
Nightshade
I'll,
as well.
I'll let my people know. And if you just want to come over with the horses and let us know, anybody who is an officer, if they could just bring proof of that, just
Right.
so that we can, make sure. Not that I don't trust you, but, gotta keep it same across the board. So just send everybody on over. We'll get that taken care of.
Sounds good.
Pleasure doing business.
And your name was Eleanor?
Yeah,
I'll tell them to look for you.
absolutely. Thank you.
No, that doesn't go over there. And
That was an excellent performance, Cabbage.
Okay, welcome back. Alright, we are all good, Empress-loving people. We have been to Setterton.
Right.
We've been in Lamont's Wells. We travel around.
Sure.
And they're sending over their people, officers for free.
Yep.
They have some people who have some experience
Okay,
with
good.
horses. Sergeant Jonah thinks you should learn how to shoe a horse.
Great.
I'm gonna not talk.
That's probably
That's
good.
probably good. So, did you find out anything?
They are building up a garrison here. They're going to be sending
Is that
patrols.
what that stone building is, Keith?
the one where the army is right
so that
now.
is so I assume that's like the barracks, but if I know that the garrison's going to be here, does that stone building make sense?
Doesn't make sense as a garrison, no.
I mean, I feel like they would have a building other than a barracks, though.
Yeah, but they're starting with the barracks.
Okay.
That way they have a place
We can
to
ask more
stay.
questions as they get here.
Okay.
But
We are
Interesting.
good, Empress-loving,
Of course,
Empress-fearing.
Always, yeah.
May she live forever.
I
They're
can
gonna
recite
come
the
over.
I can even recite the tenants.
Oh, there's tenants.
Hide any of your
There's
magic.
that,
Ton of them, in fact.
there's that book or
Make
whatever.
sure
Yeah.
that's where it needs to
Tenants.
be. Make sure
Which I
everything
have memorized.
is
Okay.
out
Okay,
of
Well-
the open.
they'll be over shortly.
Cool. Great. They're putting a garrison.
Don't
And
know
they're
anything
going to be
about the
sending-
Empress.
Then you should join me in the camp of I'm not talking.
Freak. They're going to be.
To end you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, what can we do for you?
I'm curious, sir. Are you a blacksmith by trade?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Would you? How long are you going to be in town?
About 2-3 more days.
Oh dear. Well, here's our situation. We are in need of quite a lot of ironwork. A lot of ironwork very shortly, and we're sort of recruiting every blacksmith we can find.
So, I don't think I caught your name.
It's Miles.
Miles, why the sudden rush for ironwork?
It's not a rush. We just have a need for a lot of it.
Care to elaborate?
He's going to point to the stone structure on the hill. Lamont's Wells is building a prison.
Oh!
Oh.
Well, that would make sense. I am happy to help for while I am in town. That being said, I do have some other business to attend to here in town, and once we are, after a few days, we'll be packing up and heading out.
I don't suppose there's any way I could persuade you to stay on until the project is finished?
Well, that depends how long you think the project's going to take.
Well, we're not real sure is the problem, you see. It's the rate our local blacksmiths are going, it's liable to be a week or two.
Okay.
It will also depend on shipments of ore from downriver.
Am I to assume you're the sort of head of the blacksmith guild here in town then?
No, I'm part of the town council.
Ah, okay, perfect. Well, I can give you an answer. Yep.
Yeah, make me a perception check.
Okay.
I'm concerned.
22.
22. Okay. You only see it for just a real brief second as he's sort of gesturing around. The collar of his tunic sort of falls open for just the briefest of seconds, and you catch a medallion against his chest that has a bright blue sapphire that is glowing. And then he covers it back up and keeps his hands real close.
Okay, well, tell you what. Actually, right in the middle of a couple projects that we've promised. If you can come back tonight, after dark or around then.
I mean, my home is inside the walls. I'll be in town after dark.
So you're a member of the town council, but you can't come a hop, skip, and a jump out and come. Like, if you can come out, then I can discuss what we would require for me to stay on and do the work. But unfortunately, I am about to be up to my ears in horseshoes. So that's the earliest I'll be available.
See what I can do.
All right, no problem.
See what I can do. But you're amenable. Yes.
Yeah, as long as
we can make it worth.
As long as you can make it worth my while, I think we could definitely make arrangements for that.
Yes, I think we can handle that. So I'll have to rearrange. I'll have to rearrange some meetings, but I think I can. And he's already sort of thinking to himself as he goes and talking to himself as he's wandering back towards town.
Interesting.
What a nice man.
We might be here longer than we were planning. But
Oh.
so I'm gonna look around. Is the soldiers coming over yet? Or
Not yet.
Okay.
Because if they're building a prison here, I want to get a look on the inside so I know the floor plan, and so I can help plan how we can take it over later so that we can use it.
And also, if it's
That's not a bad idea.
also knowing the Empire, there's going to be a lot of interesting people in that prison. People who would support our cause.
I think it would be worth our while to know what's going on there, and I think I can leverage my position as their extra help.
And looking about what the size of it could be, we might be able. There might be a bunch of artists who could be stored there as well.
That's true. We are really gonna have to get good at using our fake names.
Yep.
Like, really good.
Yep.
Yes, you all will have to get better at using your fake
Hey,
names.
I told him my name was Eleanor.
Good, you succeeded once.
So, I thought of something earlier.
So I'm gonna check over my shoulder again. There's nobody around. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I might need a different fake name that actually belongs to a person that is a cloister member. Like.
Stella Cox.
Okay,
Yeah.
why?
Or no, Stella Virgin, that's what it was.
Because if they actually require names and such of who is checking into different places, like the library and whatnot, I need a valid name
You also let
that's
us.
not mine.
Fair. Yeah.
And then do you also let us know about what you found in the library?
I will let you know about everything except the cage.
Okay. Fair.
For now.
Yeah, that's fine.
To the south is not particularly helpful. We already knew that. But
Oh,
so
to the north, the
no, yeah. Sorry, the history of the elves that they migrated from
Oh,
the south.
yeah.
Like, we already knew that.
but this tells us kind of where the
yeah, no,
places.
that part is very useful.
I have all of the prayer things, the little weird hymns
That's good.
written down. Hopefully that means that maybe people will be, or they'll be a little more accessible to us, although you don't seem to have a problem with that anyway. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe
We'll
it's
see.
useful. I haven't tested
No,
any of them.
I mean, at the very least, I am interested in them, personally. But
Yeah, and
so you can check over my shoulder. Do we have a soldier coming over yet? Or
No, but you are starting to see a little bit of activity over from the soldiers' camp. Like they're
Can I be
gathering
here
up
soon?
about a half a dozen horses or so.
if we're gonna be here for a little bit longer, it might be worth it if we might need to establish a secondary camp further out from town, hidden, in case we need to,
Ex-nay.
or make some rendezvous
Okay.
not out in the open.
Okay.
You two might be a good candidate to go look into that, given that you are in the not gonna talk to the soldiers crowd.
that's fair.
I can seduce information from them.
No.
No?
No, I'm pretty sure that this commander guy is gonna keep
Also,
his
if you start
boys on a
seducing them,
tightrope.
they're gonna think I run a brothel.
I have no idea why they would think that.
Just
Surely
saying.
not. I mean,
That's when the perfume
No,
letter
if they
arrives.
come over here and at least one of my employees is trying to flirt with, I'm fairly confident. Don't get any ideas.
Fair.
what? Never mind. Okay, I guess that's.
And I'm not sure I want to have a reputation of running a brothel out of my workshop.
Oops. That's reasonable. That's fair.
I mean, you don't have to go right now if you guys don't want to. I just, if you
also,
don't want
I'm
to,
really bad at seducing.
if you don't want to be around while we have our company,
to be mute.
that is a productive thing you could be doing. I also could give you a shopping list.
That's probably a good thing too. Yeah. If you give me a shopping list and some gold to take care of it, I'll take care of all that stuff. We can
Oh man.
kind of scope out a good camping area. And also, the mute thing's not a bad idea when we go to another place.
You take a vow of silence.
Well, I mean, I'm not usually a monk when I'm traveling with you, so.
You could still take a vow of silence.
Or it can just be mute.
Or we keep me. That's
We'll workshop it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I assume I'm seeing them bringing
Yeah,
horses over.
they're-
And
they're
like, so
starting
I
to-
now have to go to work. So we all make yourselves useful or comfortable. I don't care which.
Yeah, give me a shopping list. I'll go shop.
I will also start making. Are we gonna try and stay longer then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need you to go take a message to Mal while you're in town,
Okay.
actually, and let him know. Sorry, Derek. Gotta remember that. Derek.
Derek.
Let him know that the garrison's here. Let him know that we're going to be staying longer in town, and let him know that it might be worth selling them some of his alcohol. Could probably make
Ooh.
some good money off those
That's
boys.
true. Okay.
Anyway,
Get cushy with
and then
the.
Gillian will pick up his tools and start getting to work on all manner of horseshoes.
All right.
So I guess I'm gonna head over to talk to Mal first.
All right.
And I will schmooze or
They'll
make
keep you
friendly
with
with the individuals who are arriving with the horses and whatnot. And I will also start working on
Advice,
a blueprint
Amaranth.
schedule to deliver, because I don't know how many blueprints we're going to be able to do in a allotted time,
We're
but at
gonna
least
be so
start
awkward.
working on a schedule for us to slowly start handing them out now that we have a longer time.
Okay.
And just start going through the list of people who have pre-ordered the blueprints.
Okay.
To kind of start working on when we're going to release those to whoever.
So you've got the notes for what the wagon itself cost, right? On your spreadsheet.
Like the Shaggin
Yeah.
in total? Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So the blueprints will be, you can sell them for 25% of the full wagon.
So
That's not
what's
shabby.
25%?
Good chunk.
Let me
Shabby
go
is a
double
shabby.
check, but a
To
lot.
equal the amount per.
So Sini, you go find the jeweler's shop.
Yeah, I've got Dell's kind of
So when you
hanging out with me.
when you walk in, you see Mal in the back working on stuff, and there's this teenage kid next to him who is just kind of very quiet, very sullen, just sort of sitting there watching, and occasionally Mal will have him, do something as well. And the Nissa, the proprietress, is sitting at the counter. She waves hello to you, seems to recognize you, and then goes back to what she was doing. Every so often, you do see her sort of shooting dirty glances at the boy and mumbling under her breath.
So she's gonna go over to Mal, like, well, I feel a little uncomfortable.
You're picking up on the vibe. I'll just look at Ken and be like,
Okay.
The kid's face sort of, or his neck starts to flush a little bit red up to his ears.
Aw. He's embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
Oh dear. This poor kid.
He doesn't say anything. He just sort of
I'm-
ducks his
I'm
head a little
betting
bit
he
more.
doesn't want to tell us.
so maybe he'll tell us over the campfire tonight. Ken is actually going to come out and help us with some of the work.
I
that
just
we
saw
have.
the number.
You can't steal.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Oh, from selling all of them? Yeah.
So
11K.
Woo!
If we get all 14 of those blueprints sold, we can make
We can make
11,200 gold. We have an artist who could use artistry
If you wouldn't mind letting
to
everybody
copy
back
maybe.
at camp know that we'll have a guest tonight.
Can do.
He is actually the son of the owner, and
Is he staying with us?
just overnight.
I feel like Connor might not be super pleased about that.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Um,
So for your knowledge, a few things happening.
Welcome.
First off, Connor is currently in the process of making a crap ton of horseshoes for the military.
does he know how to shoe a horse?
No, but apparently they've got somebody for that. They just need the horseshoes. So
Okay,
he's
cool.
doing that. And it looks like we might be staying a little bit longer. They're building a prison
Of course, there.
and need all
Ken's
blacksmiths on deck.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
he's like-
no.
Uh-oh!
And they kind of want all blacksmiths on deck. And it
Right.
seems like a unique kind of prison. So,
Artists.
Cool. Yeah, no, I. Okay.
Wait, she's using the code word.
No. Mal is aware, but Mal is also like, oh, that's weird because
Eh.
not everybody else is.
Yeah.
Okay.
so yeah.
How long?
He said like a week or two? A couple weeks?
He said a couple of weeks.
So they said at their current rate.
At the current rate, which the current rate is slow, that's one of the reasons they're bringing other people in, right? The current rate, it would be another couple weeks. I'm thinking if they actually are successful in getting a bunch of other people working on it, that we could maybe hopefully shorten it to one.
Okay,
I
so
don't have
we're.
much gold, so I hope so.
Well, this is
Okay.
also a thing that would be getting paid for, so.
Well, I may need. So he'll look over at Tessa, Nissa, and say, I'm gonna need to take care of that. I'll come back in an hour or two. I just need to go figure out what our new plan is. If we're gonna be here in town longer than that.
I mean, we'll be open until the normal time tonight. If you get back tonight, you do. If not, it's okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
And he'll look at Ken. Don't worry about it. I'll be back, and we can work and talk tonight. I think that you could maybe learn your mom's business. I think that you could be a real asset here.
Whatever.
I mean, he's already a real ass.
Wow,
So, yeah.
you're like really, really a teenager, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was
What?
perfect, Keith.
I don't know how I would have responded to that as a
You are
teenager.
painfully
Probably
16.
would've done that. He probably would've. Yeah.
Lots of tropes going on there.
Or you would have been like, I know you are, but what am I?
Natalie was homeschooled, so.
Hey!
I'll be back. We'll do some work tonight. We can chat.
Let me guess. Whatever. Yeah.
Your friend's a smartass.
Do you own a mirror?
Let's go.
Having you two in the same room is gonna be beautiful.
And also, who the hell is this woman just sending her child
Right? Who does that shit?
It's the year of whatever.
I think when you have teenagers, you will understand the
Nope.
desire to have somebody else deal with them for just a little bit.
The desire.
Yes.
Desire is different from application.
Oh no, yeah. I'm not saying she makes good choices, but like,
Not every parent does.
Ooh, as if it's just us leaving and walking out, like, by the way, my name's not Radish anymore. I changed it.
What's your name now?
Indigo.
I mean, that tracks.
Where's my...
Forget that. I'm gonna screw up. And Mal is headed for the wrong end of town because he's already forgotten that Milo told him that it moved.
This way.
They
Back
moved
to the
it.
brothel.
Oh, right. What?
What?
Set back to the brothel. What? Are you embarrassed
I would
about
not
that?
have.
You should maybe tell me if you
I
want
was
me to
gonna
not
say
say
thank
something.
you for that, but I feel like that's the wrong thing to say.
that's what I get it now.
What?
Interesting.
That's not the half of it. Like, she literally just drew him.
You don't know that.
I
That's
was
true.
outside the door.
You probably heard me being like, yeah, just like that, and then like turn and then so you heard some things.
I mean, that's true. I heard some things. They are not sounds that I would equate to sex, but you know, that's fine.
Raised in a fishing village.
You might have a,
At
you
least
know.
it wasn't in a cemetery.
Excuse me?
What?
I hope you're saying
Oh, I've got a story for you.
Different spin on a headstone.
Oh.
So how goes shoeing the military horses?
I mean, it goes. As you guys are sort of walking, you do pass by one of the notice boards, and you see that there's some new notices. There's a guy standing there putting up new notes on the board. In case you're curious.
I'm curious.
I mean, is there any are there pictures?
No.
Okay, that's Mal's first thing. Is like, all right, any of
Come on,
us?
Steven, look at the board, see what side jobs and side quests there
We
are.
have one already.
We
We're
have
apparently
several.
in
Too
a
many.
quest hub.
We have too many jobs
You know,
already.
you scroll
This
through
is also
Craigslist
like
sometimes.
Claudius.
I just want to see what's up. I just want to see.
No, this
Not
is like
now.
Steven.
Roll me a
No,
d4.
Mal's like, as long as I don't see
Roll me
my
a
face
D4.
up there, we're going.
Fair.
D4. I get to roll once.
Woo! 3.
Cost
Question
but-
mark.
Yeah.
3.
3. Spider troubles.
Spider troubles.
Spider troubles.
You picked the wrong person to have read that.
Spiders are appearing in huge numbers in the southern forest. The webs are becoming so thick we can barely hunt. We need someone to go in and find out what's causing all these spiders to surface.
Well, that's someone else's problem.
Redirect the fire beetles out there and it'll be good.
Like, ooh.
That's not a terrible idea.
And then sort of tucked under everything, down in the very bottom corner where it's real hard to find, I buy cursed items. Poisoned, unlucky, haunted. I buy it all. Fine.
Like, see me look at this guy. Buys cursed stuff. That's stupid.
I kind of want to meet
What was
this
that
man
last
and
part?
find out
Find me
why.
at the Melted Muse.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go back there.
Dallas is like, no!
It's like a flashback.
Just the Terminator, but cheese.
Her depth vision is slowly being covered with cheese.
I'm like,
So I'm deeply curious, but I'm guessing you're probably not going back to that place, are you?
I'll stand outside.
That's okay. I
That was
can
not bad.
check it out later. We're apparently here for a minute, so it's fine.
That's true.
Okay. And you guys continue along.
I guess we can go out. And
So
explore
there's
to...
half a dozen horses,
Nice.
and a couple of them have,
Yay.
3 of them have in fact thrown shoes. The rest of them, their shoes are just getting really worn and need to be replaced.
So how much is it for the whole shebang of the horses?
Going
So,
right.
the going rate in, at least in not in Faerun,
Yeah.
yeah, Faerun, is somewhere between 7 silver and 2 gold pieces.
So I feel like we average that out to say about 1 gold piece a horse. Was that per horseshoe or per horse?
per horseshoe.
Okay, so
Oh.
1 gold piece per horseshoe, and then we're giving
I'm assuming though
75%
that is
off.
also including the shoeing because that wouldn't make sense otherwise.
Well, yeah, but so that's we're giving them 75% off. So that takes it down to
6 gold.
So now, what are you guys doing? Are you just like giving them the shoes because you also have to have the nails?
oh yeah, no, like
No.
Killian's making everything that they need.
Okay,
They just have to.
They're
because it's
just gonna
gonna
have to
take
send
you
us a
some
soldier.
time. So then, because Mal can shoe horses.
Oh.
So once you get here, you can see that Killian is working
Well,
with nails
so
and horseshoes.
once they send the soldier, how many soldiers come over to do the actual shooting?
So there are actually there's 3 soldiers that come along with. 2 of them are handling the horses. One of them has what looks to be a bundle of his farrier kit basically, and he sets up. And as you bang on a horseshoe for a little bit, you go over to a horse, sort of measure it, make sure it's going the right place, and, finish it off. And as you finish, you sort of hand it off to him, and he starts the actual shoeing process.
Then while we're doing that, I'm just going to try and casually start chatting him up and just,
Okay.
small talk and sort of try and lead it into like, oh, so where are you guys from? Why did you join the army? Where have you been posted? And try and subtly gather
Okay.
information about like where these guys are coming from, their skill level.
Okay. So the 3 soldiers are all conscripts from lands and manors in and around Costus. The company itself is originally from Costus. It's one of the cavalry units, not directly assigned to the palace guards, but they train with the palace guards. on occasion, but they're part of the Central Army, and they've been reassigned out to the frontier for a rotation, mainly to bring the Empress's justice to places that haven't seen it recently.
Fair enough. And it's cavalry, so.
You also you get a sense that they want to talk about something else, but they're kind of holding it back.
So while I'm working,
Mhm.
I'm going to look over to
Yeah.
Gale and say, well, and then I'm gonna start talking about, hey Gale, what the hell? You want to bring out some drinks? I'm really tired,
And I'll
and I will try to ply them with alcohol.
All right.
Roll for intoxication.
Whose alcohol are you bringing out?
What do I find in the shaggin?
We've got some beer.
Because if you're bringing out Mal stuff,
Yeah, as I say, we've got
The
a
stuff
couple
he
bottles
has.
of wine from the winery, and then whatever Mal has.
Probably should do something light so they don't get in trouble.
pass out.
So probably just some beer, because we don't want them going blackout drunk. That could
Yep.
look suspicious. Just a lightly buzzed, I suppose.
I probably would have also said on the way walking back that like this could be a good opportunity for you to sell some booze.
Question.
Yes.
Do soldiers generally have like money of their own on them?
It kind of depends. They just got in off the road, so they probably would not have had it on the road. There's no reason to. There's nothing to buy out there.
Probably if they get like
but-
a leave or something.
Well, and they'll probably get paid now that they're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Now that they're, sort of in town, so to speak, they probably would have been paid. So they'll probably have a little bit on them. Not a lot, but some.
The ones that they're not talking to directly, I would kind of like to sidle up and be like, so,
Hey.
I know you can't visit the brothels, you're soldiers.
Oh no.
However, I can draw you during picture that you can take on the road. It'll only cost you just a little bit.
Bootlegging.
I don't know what
dirty
this is mine.
pictures.
I will sacrifice one of mine even though I haven't sent it yet to give that to you.
That
You're gonna
is
sell porn?
brilliant.
I call it sex.
I mean,
pictures.
pinups.
Pinups.
You know, that's not technically.
That's
There it is.
brilliant.
Right. Yeah. So some of the younger soldiers do
Yeah.
very much seem interested.
Yeah, they do.
Timmy's just gonna be like, ha! Don't believe that worked.
We're making money.
How
That's
how's
actually
shoeing
a really
going?
good
Is-
idea.
Are they good at their job?
Before or after I get them buzzed?
Well,
Before or after I
that's fair.
lubricate them?
No, he's the guy knows his stuff.
Okay.
He knows one thing, and it's to shoot horses.
He knows how to shoe a horse for sure, and he's definitely got some experience with it. As you're walking up, you can kind of get a sense that he knows what he's doing, and yeah, you
Make sure
you
you
have
clean the nail first.
yeah
That's
he's got the skill set now.
Cool.
So Keith, as
Yeah.
I ply them with alcohol.
Okay. First off, two of them, the two that are handling the horses, have their hands full, and they are not going to accept.
That's fair.
Smart.
That's fair.
Not going to accept the drink. They're on duty.
I was gonna say, they're probably not supposed to, but I'm hoping that.
Now the farrier, he takes it from you gladly, takes a long drag, and then sort of sits it off to the side out of his way. You don't get a sense it's going to be enough to get him buzzed, because he's working with the animals. but it was, it was a nice gesture,
So
appreciated.
I will say to the two that are working, because you three just came up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, so I'm gonna kind of look over at where the rest of the army is and be like, look, if you two want to take a load off, I'm sure you've had a hard day. My associates can hold on to the horses. Just if you want to. I don't feel the need to say anything. I understand it has been a long road. The offer stands if you'd like.
Well, we do appreciate that, sir, but we've got to take care of these beauties here.
Kind of soldiers don't want to shirk soldiers.
Ones who haven't had time to get complacent in town yet.
Fair. Okay.
So yeah, there's no effect on the farrier's work because he's not, he's not going overboard, and the other two aren't drinking at all.
Just so you know, there's a young man in town who's gotten himself into some trouble, and I have offered to teach him a little bit of. Actually, it's the lady I'm working for. It's her son. So he's going to come by tonight to learn some more jewel craft, and he'll be staying the night out here. I can set up my own tent. That's not a big deal. I'm just...
When are you bringing him out?
You signed up for
Here.
babysitting?
Sort of.
Isn't that city council guy coming back?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was not there for that.
No, you were there for that.
Okay, I was there.
We're having one of the city council is going to come out and talk business with us. Do you think you could, I don't know, keep the boy occupied in town for a little while before you bring him out?
Yeah?
I know a
Okay.
place.
Our meeting should be
Wait, what?
The Melted Muse.
Wait, you want to go back to the
No,
mountain?
I'm saying you guys can go back. You guys can go to the
Okay.
the
So,
champion.
Anyway,
I
our
mean,
meeting is supposed to
teenage
be
boy
right,
watching
right after the sun has
cheese
gone down. So
drownings.
just, spend a
Yeah.
couple hours in town.
Yeah, I still have work to do. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Um,
I just came because I heard that we might be staying longer than planned.
yeah, they're building a prison and they need help.
Okay, so I have a foraging trip scheduled with the real pasty friend from the bar. Are we still planning on
If we can work it in, we'll have to. I gotta talk to the guy from the city council and figure out exactly what kind of job we're talking about, what their compensation's gonna be. We haven't
Okay.
actually committed to anything yet, but
I mean, do we split and some of us go up north for foraging, or
maybe depends what it
Yes.
looks like. I don't know yet. This just sort of he came up and asked if I would be willing to help, and I told him we were only gonna be around a few days. He's like, well, is there anything I could do to convince you to stay? So I'm willing to take the town's money to stay and help.
that's fair. All right.
Yeah, I hate that it's a good idea, but it's a good idea.
Well,
So yeah, we'll let you know what we feel if the proposition seems fair.
If you know where you're gonna go tonight, I guess
I mean, we don't have to come back out this way.
no.
I can
The
get
gates
rooms
will
in
be
town.
closed.
Yeah, I can get rooms in town. That's not a big deal.
You can always pick the kid up in the morning and bring him over.
Well, I will be working there again
You
tomorrow.
think you can keep him occupied, just not in here while we have a meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, then go ahead and bring him out.
If anything, I can teach him a couple of sparring things or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure
might
we can
enjoy
keep
that.
him
I don't
busy.
know if I want you hitting him.
Okay,
I'm
hang
gonna
on, but
hurt
you
him.
said he got himself into trouble?
Yeah.
So,
That's a story for later. That is a campfire story.
okay. Oh, while you're here, you may like to sell some of your wares to these fine gentlemen and their friends.
Okay. The two. I haven't picked up those 2 kegs yet. They're not
Oh, no, I'm just saying if you have any to sell, like...
small stuff only. The rest, it's gonna take a couple of weeks.
If you want to sell, just wanted you to know.
No, I
I
appreciate
think
that.
these gentlemen would deeply appreciate your craft. And I'm going to look and be like, he brews alcohol. It's real good stuff.
It is real good stuff.
The best. The best stuff.
Have to send you to the sergeant.
Maybe later tonight. Thank you, though. And Mal will leave a flask conveniently out of sight of the rest of the party, but where the soldiers can see it, because he wants it to get passed around.
Okay.
Smart.
He's not trying to like hide that he's doing it from the party, but he wants the soldiers to think that they can just like, oh look.
Okay.
I don't know if you're relying on these soldiers to be like typical soldiers. You're gonna be disappointed. They turned me down when I offered them free booze.
So
I
you wanna
guess I'll head back into town.
you wanna scope out the
I didn't think
outside
we'd be this
areas,
busy.
find a little
Right.
spot that we might wanna have an extra campsite.
Sometimes in business with these soldiers.
Oh,
Business?
I just as a note, I would like to have both of you here for our business meeting.
okay, so wait on that.
Yeah.
You can probably do that tomorrow. I
Although, yeah, so I guess we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sidling
I'll be
up to the
back before
soldiers.
the gates
So-
close.
And I'm pouring on the charisma.
Can you do
Yes.
No, never mind. No.
And I'm like petting like
I
the
saw that
horse
thought.
and
I saw the thoughts.
and I'm just like, because I know it's lonely being a soldier, right? All those like men, unless it's your thing.
Are you talking to the horse?
I'm talking
Or
to
the
the soldier.
Hey there, Easy. I know it's hard. I know it's hard on that road.
I'm talking to the soldier, but I'm like petting the horse.
Okay.
So that I don't have to. It doesn't feel like I'm just like boring into him with my eyes. And
Or with anything else.
I'm just like, I can draw you something a little fun. That's what I do. If you have anything you want, or just talk to me.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Oh, I will, because I have a +8.
Never in my time of playing Dungeons and Dragons have I ever seen a player peddle porn.
You haven't been playing long enough.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
It's 21.
What was so you've got
They're
a
real
+8,
good
so the
drawings.
raw roll was a
13.
13.
Yeah.
He got a natural 20.
Well, then it's one of my things.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with this this idea.
No.
So the kids that are standing there, sort of holding onto the horses, they sort of look at each other, look at you. So kind of. So are they drawings of you?
That's a commission.
Whoa!
What are you paying?
This is
Not above.
early
They won't
OnlyFans.
know. I could draw any kind of body. They won't know.
That's true. Doesn't have to actually look like you.
This is a business that we keep on a personal level. We only keep it among close associates or friends, right? Only friends.
Only friends.
Only friends.
Only friends.
Her Only Friends network.
I'm like, well, I mean that depends. I wouldn't mind, but I just have, I get a little bored here on the road with things. Is there any kind of like little juicy gossip bits you could tell me as trade for this? Customized.
Incoming trade offer. You tell me gossip in exchange for nudes.
I mean, we've been on the road for a little while. I don't know that we know any fresh gossip, and we only just got to town today.
Capital gossip?
The Empress, may she live forever, was apparently really, really mad with the new, what's his name? The guy in charge of the order.
Like sketchy. I'm like,
Rosk?
oh.
Am I close enough to hear this?
I mean, how far... where would you have gone when you guys got back to the...
How far away from the soldiers are you?
I'm just kind of like meandering and making sure that nobody needs to be punched.
Then make me a perception check.
I'm like sketching as he's talking, like, oh, well,
Make that a little bigger, that a little smaller, the nip a little
the
cut.
juicier the gossip, the juicier my picture.
So,
Enhance.
18.
Enhance.
Erase, make bigger.
I mean, you probably would have heard what he said.
She's unhappy with Rosk.
Is that his name? I think maybe it is. I never pay attention to politics. You know how it is.
Oh, I know.
Like that the gray streak hair,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
It's good enough.
You know why?
No, sorry, ma'am.
I don't care anyway.
You can hear in Killian's mind.
So I go, well, here you go, and I give him a particularly lewd drawing.
So,
I'm like,
so one of them takes it, looks at it, shows his buddy, and then rolls it up and tucks it inside his
like,
vest.
spread the word.
Yeah, this is like Killian is gonna be like, you're gonna have a following soon.
But only friends.
Now I have to be with you everywhere.
Let me
Spread the
introduce you
word.
to what we call the subscription service.
Like, spread the word. I charge, but if I can hear something a little fun for the road,
I'll let the lads know. Thanks.
We're gonna have a line of soldiers
And then the sergeant's gonna come.
and
Yes,
pay
he
for some
will.
himself.
I show.
I don't know, maybe
I
not.
show-
Maybe they're all gonna be upset by this because they're
See
not
my
apparently your typical soldiers.
Excuse me.
I should have looked.
What did you draw?
I drew my
Steph?
sketches of my time in the brothel.
Chests.
I didn't realize we were peddling the nudes in real life.
Subscribe for the sketches.
I just kind of want to publish your notes after this campaign. They're so funny.
Pretty good.
They're great.
That's actually about 3 hours, so I
Yep.
think we're gonna call it there and call it a night. If you guys, unless you guys have anything else you want to hit real quick before we wrap
I
things up.
do one quick thing.
Sure.
Once the soldiers leave, we're done with the fairing for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Killian's gonna gather everybody who's here and be like, so I noticed something interesting on our friend, the Mr. Town Council.
Oh.
He had a medallion on that was glowing. So I'm planning on inviting him in for a business meeting and confronting him about that and seeing what I can learn.
Connor, I don't know that that's a great idea.
When you say confronting,
With the
Oh, some people might call it something like blackmail.
Oh,
I don't know how comfortable I feel
pressure
about
him to see
blackmail.
what I can find out. I think there's more going on with this prison than he's letting on.
I think as long as we don't give away anything about ourselves in the process.
I will try to
Ooh, too
limit
late for that.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
let's
just
think
be
about
like,
this.
hey, we saw this thing, we know that's illegal.
Yeah, no,
bastard.
that's kind of my plan.
we gotta be careful about this though, because if he is building this prison and it is a known quantity, like he is building this prison, the Empire knows about it. If he is working for the Empire,
We could
then
become
we
could become
have
the
targets on our back real
we could
fast.
become the foundation for a prison very
I
quickly.
am not particularly worried because
Because it's Killian.
I think that this knowledge will be enough leverage, and I figure worst case scenario, we turn down his offer, we leave. I'm not gonna try and do it in like
it's not
a
gonna be
threatening
okay.
way unless
Okay.
I feel like that's the only way, but I am gonna try and like push a little bit and see what I can get out of him. And
More leverage than blackmail.
yeah, but
Okay.
like I am not. If he's not budging, I'm not above.
Leverage with a smattering of blackmail.
We might want to know a little bit more before we know if like the blackmail thing is actually
yeah,
something
but
that's
so
not
I
going to bite us in
want-
the ass.
You around to
Yeah.
be the scary muscle.
I'm terrifying.
Yeah, you just have to stand there with your arms crossed and look pissed off and hit something if we tell you to.
I'm good at that.
You have what they call RBF.
I will make sure Tommy looks
RBF?
menacing.
Is that a disease?
Sort of.
No,
Sort of.
resting badass face.
Oh. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you want to play good cop or bad cop?
Well, seeing as you're the one that is going after him, I should probably play good cop.
Okay. If he brings any guards with him, how do you two feel about distracting them?
How?
However you feel is the best way to go about it. I don't know.
Alright.
I just don't know if he's going to show up with guards or not.
Occupied. Occupied.
I think you'll be very good at
My
that.
hands should be rested by then.
I did not realize this was a talent of yours, but apparently it is.
I feel like I'm the only
Showing
person who
off.
doesn't have a marketable skill at this point. This is...
Well,
You're
I have
the
a
muscle.
marketable skill.
I've seen you bludgeon a man to death with your bare hands.
It's true. I wasn't there, but I heard about it. I was on the river.
I'm not there.
I know. But you look.
Okay, so that's the plan.
Okay.
And that was it. I just wanted to get that all set in
And
stone.
we
before.
will call it there for the night. Thanks, guys, for showing up for tonight's game. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back with more shenanigans next week.
There were quite a few shenanigans.
right.
No, I just returned
Okay.
it back.
This gives me more of a chance to go back and figure out the scavenger hunt for Akurai's trail, too, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will call it here for tonight. Hope you guys had a good time. Do join us again next week, 6:30 Mountain Time. Hopefully, we will have all of the technical snafus dealt with and won't have that hanging over us as we start tomorrow or next week. Apologies again for that. Do remember to keep a tab on the Discord server in case we make any changes to the schedule. It will be there. You can also go to YouTube and watch all of the videos that we put. Everything video-wise does wind up on YouTube, so you can go check that out. Watch back episodes, one-shots, everything we've done does wind up on YouTube. That is going to do it for us tonight. So we hope we will see you next week. And remember...
Grab your bats and grab your balls.
And if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a glass house. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night.
Bye.